Chapter 3746. Bastard! Give me back my son! An earth-shattering roar resounded through the heavens. Anger and sorrow enveloped the ancient city of Moism within a radius of 10,000 miles. Dark clouds gathered in the surroundings, the wind howled, and the rain continued to fall. It's Elder Emayankwa. Oh no! I'm afraid that Thousand Black Jade City won't be so lucky this time. Yeah. They were at loggerheads in the past. I'm afraid that a life-and-death battle is unavoidable now. Emo Xian's death is like a bolt from the blue to Elder Emo Yang Kue Emo. The people of Emo clan kept quiet out of fear. No one dared to say a word. At this moment, Emo Yang Kue was standing on top of the ancient city of Emo Yang Kue Emo. He was wearing a green robe and his figure was like a hook. Thousand Black Jade City. Thousand Black Jade City. It's really you. You killed my son? Emo Yangkue's hair stood up in anger. He took a deep breath as his body trembled uncontrollably. The greatest sorrow in the world was the death of an old man. Emo Xian's death caused Emo Yangkue's expression to become extremely desolate. He even aged a few decades in an instant. When enemies meet, their eyes would turn red. Moreover, the pain of losing his son was indescribable. Emo Yangkue and Thousand Black Jade City were sworn enemies. Even after 100,000 years, they still could not forget each other. Especially Thousand Black Jade City. He always remembered how his big brother framed him. Moreover, he did not hesitate to use his wife as the price to tempt him. In the end, he obtained the so-called genius reward. Otherwise, how could he be the strongest genius back then? The moment Thousand Black Jade City looked at Mo Yangkue, there was no longer any trace of guilt in his heart. Emo Yangkue glared at Thousand Black Jade City in anger. These two geniuses of the Emo clan who had once fought against each other were now facing each other in a life-and-death situation. I'm the one who killed him. Thousand Black Jade City said coldly and looked at Mo Yangkue without any fear. Grandpa, Moling Dongchen wanted to say something but he was stopped by Thousand Black Jade City who stood behind him and said in a deep voice, I merely wanted to return to the Emo clan and acknowledge my ancestors. However, Emo Xian obstructed me in every possible way. Even when I wanted to see the patriarch, he refused to report it and even wanted to fight me to the death. In the end, it was only natural for him to die in my hands. He only has himself to blame. Bastard! You shameless bastard! Everyone knows how shameless you were back then. Now, you're actually shameless to the point that you won't even let my son off. Could it be that you want to drag the grudges of our previous generation onto the next generation? Emo Yangkue roared furiously. As a father, the pain he felt was indescribable. In the past, the Emo clan had spared his life. But who would have thought that after 100,000 years, the grudges between them would once again be formed? It could be said that Emo Yangkue had already gone completely crazy. That was his only son. The Thousand Black Jade City was clearly doing this on purpose. You despicable and shameless person. How can my Emo family tolerate you? You still want to return to the Emo family and acknowledge your ancestors? You're a shameless bastard. Today, you actually dare to recklessly kill people in my Emo family. I will definitely kill you here and dismember your corpse into 1,000 pieces. Emo Yangkue said while trembling. No matter what the Thousand Black Jade City said, it was unable to make up for the death of his son. Right now, he and the Thousand Black Jade City had already reached a point where either one of them would die. If it wasn't for him, why would he return to the Emo clan? Now, you've finally obtained your wish and taken your revenge. However, since you've killed my son, I won't let you have it easy either. Emo Yangkue and the Thousand Black Jade City were already in a state of mutual hostility. You still want to quibble even now? Thousand Black Jade City. My Emo clan definitely doesn't welcome you. Since you dare to kill in my Emo clan, then there's no need for us to be polite anymore. That's right. The death of my nephew, Emo Xian, was clearly done on purpose. Yet, you still want to shirk your responsibility? The more you kill, the more you rape, the more you plunder. You're just a lowly thief who doesn't stop at anything. Now, you still want to renege on your debt. You're simply a disgrace to my Emo clan. Driving you out of the Emo clan back then was the best decision. The two elders beside Emo Yangkue were extremely separated. Regarding the matter of the Thousand Black Jade City killing Emo Xian, they firmly believed that the Thousand Black Jade City did it on purpose to take revenge for what happened back then. No, this is impossible. My son, my son. A purple figure flew over and directly landed beside Mo Xian. The middle-aged beautiful woman was wearing a mink fur coat. Her figure was elegant and graceful. However, her vision was already blurred. Her face was full of tears as she knelt in front of Mo Xian. She felt as if her precious baby had been cut off. She almost fainted from crying. Thousand Black Jade City. You're an executioner. What crime did my son commit? Why are you so ruthless? Could it be that the Mo clan spared your life back then and you still don't know how to repent? You killed our son. Back then, you did something that angered even the gods. I, Yanning, could only swallow my anger. However, you didn't even let my son off. Thousand Black Jade City. Even if I become a ghost, I won't let you rest in peace. The person who came was naturally Mo Xian's mother, Yanning. The Thousand Black Jade City silently looked at Yanning. She was no longer the young girl who flew together with him. Perhaps it could be said that she never was. That was just a trap that they had set up. I've said it before. I didn't want to kill him. However, he was overbearing and wanted to fight to the death with me. I had no choice. The Thousand Black Jade City coldly said. However, in the eyes of Mo Yongkue and Yanning, it was because of their own selfish desires that they killed their son. This Thousand Black Jade City definitely came prepared. Moreover, their target was very clear. It was only Mo Xian. Now that things have come to this, do you still want to quibble? No matter how glib your tongue is, how can you evade it? Isn't my son's death your doing? You're really ruthless. Thousand Black Jade City. Yan Ying's words were like pearls piercing the heart. However, the Thousand Black Jade City was no longer the young man who could be manipulated by others. If you want to frame someone, you can always find a way to frame them. Since they had decided on him, what else could he quibble about? So be it. There's nothing to feel pity about. This kind of person deserves to die without a burial place. He spouted filthy words and overestimated himself. Death was his final destination. I'm the one who killed Mo Xian. If you want to take revenge, just come at me. My grandpa will never associate himself with despicable people like you. Moling Dongchen did not want to be outdone. He stared at Yanning and Mo Yongkue coldly. Well, well, well. What a sharp-tongued little boy. Since you're the one who killed my son, then you shall be buried with him. Chapter 3747. It's you, bitch. Yanning looked at them coldly and stared at Moling Dongchen. At that moment, she and Mo Yongkue looked at each other and both of them released their powerful aura. All of you must die. All of you shall be buried with my son. Yan Ying's beautiful eyes flickered with cold light. She was as beautiful as a jade, but her heart was as vicious as a snake. At that moment, even Jiang Chen, who was above the 9 heavens, frowned. This bitch was really reckless. It seemed that it was impossible for him to stay out of this matter. Bitch, it should be you. The one who framed my grandpa in the past is you too. Now, you want to help the evildoer? It's impossible. Today, we came here to seek justice. None of you can run away from what happened in the past. Moling Dongchen was quite arrogant. Since they had already fallen out with each other, what was there to be afraid of? At most, they would start a massacre and turn the Mo family upside down. Thousand Ink Jade Mayor sighed in his heart. However, he loved his unyielding granddaughter very much. Wasn't her every move for his sake? She had suppressed the discomfort in her heart, and in her rage, she had drawn her sword and killed Mo Xian. In the eyes of the Mo family's branch, Mo Xian, who had spoken rudely, had only himself to blame. Bitch, liar. There's no place for you to speak. Kneel down now. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. Mo Yongkue pointed at Moling Dongchen and said arrogantly, Ha ha ha. What a joke. Who do you think you are? What qualifications do you have to ask me to kneel down? Since I'm not a member of your Mo family, it's reasonable for me to call you a son of a bitch. Mo Xian is a good example. You two adulterous couple are already not far from death. Moling Dongchen's eyes were charming and he sneered. Mo Yongkue and Yanning were so angry that their faces turned pale and their shoulders were trembling. You. Just you wait, little bastard. I'm going to skin you alive. Yan Ying's face was full of tears. The pain of losing her son had almost made her faint. Now, Moling Dongchen had made her so angry that her lungs were about to explode. Is this the junior you've taught? Thousand Ink Jade Mayor. You've really disappointed me. What a disgrace to the Mo family. Mo Yang Kue and Thousand Black Jade City were also facing each other with equal harshness. Both of them clenched their fists tightly as their battle intent blazed like fire. Didn't you say that I'm no longer a member of the Mo family? Is there a need for a sanctimonious hypocrite like you to criticize the people I teach? Today, it's time for us to settle our grudge. Thousand City Black Jade said in a deep voice. At this moment, he had already decided that today, he would uphold the name of his granddaughter. No one would be able to harm her. Since this Mo Yang Kue was pestering him endlessly, overbearing, and as unreasonable as his dead son, then he had nothing to be embarrassed about towards this adulterous couple. Thousand City of Black Jade. Hand over your life. Mo Yang Kue didn't want to say another word to Thousand Ink Jade Cheng. His son's death was witnessed by everyone. It was understandable. Thousand Ink Jade Cheng still wanted to return to the Mo clan. It's been 100,000 years. I don't know if you've made any progress. If you can only rely on your tricks to win, then I advise you to kneel on the ground and beg for mercy. Thousand City of Black Jade sneered. In the past, Mo Yang Kue was inferior by a single move and always lost to him. For the sake of obtaining the genius reward from the Mo clan, Mo Yang Kue and Yan Ying schemed against him, causing him to be consigned to eternal damnation and be criticized by others. This kind of pain was like a knife, cutting into his heart again and again. This was something that could not be changed in his entire lifetime. Thousand City of Black Jade and Mo Yang Kue exchanged blows. The two elders were waiting for an opportunity, because Mo Yang Kue did not allow them to make a move. At this time, the two of them had personal grudges, new and old enmity, so they had to distinguish right from wrong, who was strong and who was weak. Therefore, Mo Yang Kue was very confident in this battle. He wanted to cut down Thousand City of Black Jade. The death of their son, Mo Xian, was a fatal blow to Mo Yang Kue and Yan Ying. When they fought against Thousand City of Black Jade again, Mo Yang Kue did not slack off at all. He used all his killing moves to kill Thousand City of Black Jade. The battle between the two of them was in full swing. The people who were watching the battle from the top of the Mo City were enjoying it. At this moment, they would like to see who would have the last laugh. However, Thousand City of Black Jade and Yan Ying were still outnumbered. Compared to the entire Mo clan, their strength was just a drop in the bucket. On the other side, the battle between Yan Ying and Moling Dongchen was quite exciting. Jiang Chen did not participate in it. As an observer, he also wanted to see how powerful Moling Dongchen was. Sure enough, Moling Dongchen did not disappoint Jiang Chen. In less than 10 moves, Moling Dongchen had gained the upper hand and Yan Ying could not move an inch. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Yan Ying shouted angrily. The elders of the Mo clan also rushed forward to face Moling Dongchen. There were many people behind Moling Dongchen as well. This chaotic battle was inevitable. How dare you touch Dongchen? Charge! Moling Dongchen's third uncle shouted in a deep voice. His aura was imposing. Plus, Moling Dongchen and Thousand City of Black Jade had gained the upper hand. Of course they were fearless. The remaining 16 people of the Mo clan all rushed up to the sky to support Moling Dongchen. At this moment, even the two elders of the Mo clan had a gloomy expression. How could the Mo clan be bullied by others? Moreover, it was at their own doorstep. Wouldn't people laugh their heads off if they knew about this? All the ruling elders and elite disciples of the Mo clan, gather here. Mo Yang Kue retreated step by step. However, under the suppression of the Thousand City of Black Jade, his face became gloomy. It was very dangerous. At this moment, if he did not think of a way out, he would be completely defeated by the Thousand City of Black Jade. Moreover, all the descendants of the Thousand City of Black Jade had started to take action. Even Yan Ying, who had the help of the two elders, could not escape from Moling Dongchen's suppression. After several palm strikes, Yan Ying's ribs were almost broken. The pain was even more heart-wrenching. Yan Ying gritted her teeth and retreated step by step. However, how could the Mo clan allow her to retreat? Under the leadership of Moling Dongchen, Yan Ying was suffering unspeakably. She had killed an old master with a random punch. In addition to the past disputes between her and the Thousand City of Black Jade, the people of the Mo clan hated her to the core. How could they give her any chance to escape at this moment? Yan Ying wanted to cry but had no tears. She was rolling and crawling. She had completely lost her beauty. At this moment, not only her, even Mo Yongkue had fallen into a predicament. They were in a dire situation and their lives were at stake. Chapter 3748. Brother Kue, save me. Yanning screamed. Her face was pale and she staggered. She was already overwhelmed and her body was trembling. Under Moling Dongchen's attack, her long hair was in a mess. She didn't look like a peerless beauty anymore. Mo Yongkue was also very worried when he saw Yanning in danger. However, the Thousand Black Jade City had already trapped him here. There was no room for him to escape. Not to mention saving Yanning. Even he himself would find it extremely difficult to escape. Danger lurked in every direction. The Thousand Black Jade City looked at Yanning calmly. He didn't care about what that guy had done. Who could he talk to for the sorrow in his heart for the past 100,000 years? No one knew how sorrowful he was. His heart was as still as water, not because of how deep his love for Yanning was, but because the current him no longer cared about the past. Now that the Thousand Black Jade City had returned, he had already let go of Yanning. What he wanted to do was to acknowledge his ancestors and return to his clan. That was his only thought, and also his lifelong pursuit. Fallen leaves always return to their roots. Even if he had established a branch of the Mo family outside, he was still a member of the Mo family. The mark of the Mo family couldn't be changed no matter what. Moling Dongchen would never show mercy to the fairer sex. Moreover, his attacks were extremely ruthless and lethal. Mo Yongkue couldn't get away at the moment. Even with the help of the two elders of the Mo family, it was still difficult for him to resist the attacks of Moling Dongchen and the other Divine Emperor realm experts. It was a one-sided battle. Moling Dongchen's attacks were as fast as lightning. Every slap that landed on Yanying's face was like a thunderclap. It was frightening. Mo Yongkue was furious and his body was stiff. However, he was forced to retreat by the Thousand Black Jade City. His situation was even more worrying than Yanying's. Ah! Yanning screamed continuously. Hot palm prints kept appearing on her face. At that moment, Moling Dongchen went all out. He didn't kill Yanning directly. Instead, he kept slapping her face. You bitch! I'm going to kill you. You're a promiscuous hussy. I'm going to kill you today. Don't cry. Pa, pa, pa. Moling Dongchen didn't care. He directly went berserk, punched, kicked and slapped Jiang Chen's face. Even Jiang Chen was a little speechless. When Moling Dongchen was angry, he was really powerful. Yanning almost fainted after being slapped by Moling Dongchen. Two of her front teeth were knocked out. She looked like a madwoman. Her face was full of blood and her hair was messy. She was no different from a beggar. Yanying's eyes were blurred, and she was even a little frightened. She had lived a glorious life, but when had she ever suffered such humiliation? But now, she had been beaten so badly that she did not even have the slightest bit of anger. Her own son was also killed by her. Now, she was completely confused. Mo Yongkue screamed at the top of his lungs and roared furiously. He wanted to struggle free from the Thousand Black Jade City, but he was powerless in the face of the attack of the Thousand Black Jade City. He was beaten into an extremely battered and exhausted state. Not to mention protecting his woman, he couldn't even protect himself. Thousand Black Jade City. You bastard. I will never let you go. Mo Yongkue knew that the situation was hopeless. He had to go back to the Mo family to ask for reinforcements. At this moment, if he continued to fight with the Thousand Black Jade City, he would definitely be killed. This guy did not intend to be merciful. Yanying's cry for help had been completely drowned by the wind. In order to protect himself, Mo Yongkue could only keep retreating. As for Yanning, he could not care about her at all. It was a matter of life and death. Both of them were already in such a situation. If one of them could escape, it would be better. If they stayed here, they would only be waiting for death. Mo Yongkue escaped very fast. At that moment, Yanning was extremely desperate. Under the attack of Moling Dongchen and the other 8 Divine Emperor realm experts, she had completely lost all hope. However, the man who said that he loved her deeply actually ran away at this moment. This made Yanying's eyes almost pop out of their sockets. She finally saw the true face of Mo Yongkue. She was in danger, but he didn't care about her at all. He only knew how to run for his life. What was the point of having such a man? Bastard! You will definitely die a horrible death, Emo Yankue. Yan Ying roared in anger. However, Emo Yankue had already escaped. The other two elders of the Emo family were completely suppressed. However, Moling Dongchen and the others did not attack them. On the contrary, Yan Ying had been beaten by Moling Dongchen continuously. She had no choice but to grit her teeth and brace herself. However, how could Moling Dongchen be so easy to deal with? Their arrogance from before had long vanished without a trace. When Yan Ying looked at the thousand city of black jade once again, her heart was incomparably complicated. This man, who had once loved her deeply, had been played by her in the palm of her hand. Now, it was time for him to properly reflect on himself. She had fallen in love with a man that she should not have loved, but in a desperate situation of life and death, he had given up on her. Meanwhile, this man, who had once been hurt by her, had an incomparably complicated expression in his eyes. Even though they had not met for 100,000 years, and things remained the same, but people had long changed. However, he still might not be able to abandon her, and not care about her. Husband and wife were birds in the same forest. Now, they would fly separately in the face of disaster. Emo Yankue, I will hate you for the rest of my life. She could not protect her son. In the end, even the only man she had left her. This kind of pain had made Yan Ying feel hopeless. After being beaten by Moling Dongchen, her heart had already turned into ashes. Aren't you very happy? Very happy. Thousand Black Jade City, we have finally lost in your hands. For 100,000 years, you must have been scheming for today's matter every moment, right? You must have hated both of us to the bone. Now that Emo Yankue has been chased away by you and I've been taught a lesson by your junior, most importantly, my son has been killed by you. Aren't you happy? Ha ha ha, you've finally taken your revenge. Ha ha ha, you've finally taken your revenge. Do you feel that your heart is filled with excitement that can be expressed in your words? Yan Ying sneered, but she felt extremely bitter in her heart. She mocked herself, but most of it was self-mockery. She had been mercilessly abandoned in a life-and-death situation. She had lost all faith, and the pain of losing her son had caused her to lose faith in life. From now on, I will make you regret it for the rest of your life. It was you who killed me. It was Emo Yankue who killed me. It was everyone here. Yan Ying knelt on the ground and shouted herself hoarse. Her shoulders were trembling and there was not a trace of brilliance in her eyes. Puff. Chapter 3749. Why do you have to do this? Thousand Black Jade City sighed and shook his head. Yan Ying's death did not affect him at all. He was just a little shocked and surprised. He did not want to kill Yan Ying. However, since he had returned to the Emo family, he had to show his attitude. Even if it was Emo Xian, it was not his intention. However, Emo Ling Dongchen had killed Emo Xian, so he had nothing to say. Now, Emo Yankue had escaped back to Emo City, and Yan Ying had self-destructed her Dantian and Meridian. She had completely lost her life. I hate you. I hate you. Yan Ying's eyes almost popped out of her eye sockets. Eventually, she fell into a pool of blood. Everyone's expression changed. The two elders of the Emo family kept quiet out of fear. If Thousand City of Black Jade wanted to kill them, he could do it with just a wave of his hand. It was that simple. Since the ancient times, one's emotions have only resulted in hatred. This hatred will never end. Sigh. Thousand City of Black Jade sighed with emotion. He had long since jumped out of this natural fortune, yet they were still clinging onto it, causing him to be unable to help but sigh endlessly with emotion. Yan Ying is dead? She is Elder Emo Yangkue's wife. Seems like there will be a bloody storm in the Emo family this time. Aunt Yan Ying is dead, but Emo Xian is also dead. The Emo family will definitely not let this matter rest. Looks like this Thousand City of Black Jade is too arrogant. He dares to kill people in front of our Emo family. Our Emo family will never tolerate him. The affairs of the world are hard to predict. Who would have thought that this matter would actually develop to such a stage? Who is right and who is wrong is no longer important. However, the deaths of Emo Xian and Aunt Yan Ying will definitely cause an upheaval in the Emo family. Although the people on the Emo city had seen it, Emo Xian and Yan Ying were the direct descendants of the Emo family. Thousand City of Black Jade had already been expelled from the Emo family. 2 Divine Emperor Realm experts had died in this battle. The Mo family would definitely not sit still and wait for death. A beautiful woman has a short life. The more she is happy, the more she is sad. She only had herself to blame for everything. Grandfather, you don't have to sigh too much. It's not your fault. Death might be her only way out. Living would be the greatest harm to her. The pain of losing my son was caused by me. As for that disappointing man, how could he be worthy of being the genius of the Mo family? Hee, how could this kind of trash be worthy of competing with his grandfather? You're simply overestimating yourself. Moling Dongchen said coldly. She didn't blame herself at all for Yan Ying's death. She didn't care if Yan Ying was dead. Those who were not related to her couldn't affect her at all. So what if she killed a few people from the Mo family for her grandfather? Although they were all members of the Mo family, when had they ever had any feelings for their grandfather? Moling Dongchen had always been a person who could distinguish kindness and hatred clearly. There was nothing that she couldn't do for her family. Moreover, if the Mo family couldn't accept her grandfather, they would establish their own family. It wasn't that they didn't want to acknowledge their ancestors and return to the family. If even their ancestors didn't want to give them any chance, then what was the point of acknowledging their ancestors and return to the family? If her grandfather didn't want to do it, then she would do it. The people from the Mo family could never stand on her grandfather's head and act like a tyrant. Moreover, they were here to seek justice for themselves. They didn't come here to suffer. She must wash away her grandfather's sins with her own hands. Humans only have one life. Plants only have one autumn. For tens of thousands of years, she had seen the pain in her grandfather's heart. However, that pain originated from the sorrow of the Mo family. That year, he was expelled from the Mo family. That was the pain in his heart for his whole life. Today, the arrow was already knocked on the bowstring and it had to be released. Even if she was besieged by the Mo family, Moling Dongchen wouldn't hesitate. A man should stand for the world and a daughter should be self-reliant. In the sky above the Mo family, a group of experts rushed to the peak of the void. Their anger was soaring to the sky. They're finally here. Chen Cheng took a deep breath. He knew that the death of Mo Xian and Yan Ying must have touched the nerves of the entire Mo family. The death of two divine Emperor Realm experts was something that they couldn't sit still anymore. Moreover, it happened in front of the entire Mo family. One could imagine how humiliating it was. As the mainstay of the Nantung divine region and one of the most powerful sects, the Mo family couldn't bear such humiliation. More than 40 divine Emperor Realm experts stepped into the void and sealed the entire area of the Mo family. They surrounded Chen Cheng and the others in the middle. The 9 leaders were all late divine Emperor Realm experts. The entire Mo family was in a state of panic. All the elders and inner sect experts swarmed towards the Mo family. How dare they kill people in front of the Mo family? Moreover, they were divine Emperor Realm experts of the Mo family. Wasn't this the same as provoking the Tai Sui? Third elder, it's him. This shameless bastard who was chased out of the Mo family by us has returned. He even wants to provoke the Mo family. He killed Mo Xian. Yan Ying. Mo Yongkue was incomparably furious. He pointed at Chen Cheng and the others and said. He found out that his wife was already dead. You bastard. Bastard. You killed Yan Ying when you couldn't get her. It's like this in the past, and it's still the same today. My Mo family and you are irreconcilable. Tears streamed down Mo Yongkue's face. He was grief-stricken. Losing his son and his wife made him feel as if his heart was being stabbed by a knife. Everyone in the Mo family felt sympathy for him. At this moment, Mo Yongkue was an elder of the Mo family. Not only his son, but his wife was also killed by Chen Cheng of Black Jade. They naturally couldn't empathize with him. Most importantly, the murderer was someone who was expelled from the Mo family in the past. The faces of the third elder and the others were dark and cold as they sighed in their hearts. They did not expect that this traitor, who had already been expelled from the Mo clan, would actually be so vicious and merciless. The decision they had made back then was truly correct. Otherwise, who knew what kind of storm this disappointing thing would have stirred up in the Mo clan? He would have definitely caused their Mo clan to be in a state of chaos, jumping up and down, and even losing all their face. They naturally couldn't let such a person go. Since he was expelled from the Mo family, he was no longer a member of the Mo family. Yet, he still dared to stir up trouble in the Mo family. They wouldn't let him go easily. Everyone was filled with righteous indignation. Everyone was filled with hot blood. They were determined to bring the Qian Chang of Black Jade to justice. He even killed someone from the Mo family. Furthermore, he was so arrogant. When had the Mo family ever suffered such humiliation? This 1,000-inked jade city is simply too unscrupulous. It is fortunate that we expelled this kind of thief from the Mo clan back then. Otherwise, who knows how big of a storm he would have stirred up in our Mo clan. Isn't that right? If it wasn't for him, why would Mo Xian die? Chapter 3750. He didn't even let his sister-in-law go. He's a bastard. I'm not surprised that he would do such a thing. Sigh. Lust is like a knife. 1,000 City of Black Jade has already become a demon. He wants to make Mo Yongkue suffer inconsolable grief. Only then will he be satisfied. Everyone in the Mo family was shocked. Especially those Divine Emperor Realm experts. All of them were glaring at 1,000 Black Jade City, Moling Dongchen and the others. At this moment, they had already prepared themselves and were waiting for the third elder's order to capture this bastard. Then, the Mo family's matter would be settled. However, the death of Mo Xian and Yan Ying depended on how they were going to deal with this 1,000 Black Jade City. Even if they were to cut him into pieces, it would not be too much. 1,000 Black Jade City, do you know your crime? As a member of the Mo family, how dare you kill in front of the Mo family and disturb our peaceful cultivation? Kneel down and accept your death. The third elder Mo Xueqi shouted. His voice was like the rumbling of thunder. He looked at the 1,000 Black Jade City furiously. The death of 2 Divine Emperor Realm experts was a great humiliation to the Mo family. Moreover, Mo Xian was the most talented disciple of the Mo family. This was intolerable. They must give Mo Yongkue and the entire Mo family an explanation. Otherwise, how could the Mo family maintain their foothold in the non-Tung divine region? Third elder, our 1,000 Black Jade City is not at fault for today's matter. I have come here today to return to my homeland and acknowledge my ancestors and my clan. I have no other intention. The 1,000 City of Black Jade looked at third elder Mo Xueqi, bowed slightly, and spoke in a neither servile nor overbearing manner. No other intention? You killed 2 Divine Emperor Realm experts of our Mo family, and you still say that you have no other intention? Come down and accept your death. Kneel down and beg for mercy. That's right. 1,000 Black Jade City, you're the scum of the Mo family. How can you be punished? Our Mo family was merciful to let you go and expel you from the Mo family. That was already the greatest mercy we could show. How can we forgive you? The elders beside the third elder were also glaring at 1,000 Ink Jade City. 1,000 Ink Jade City frowned. These people simply don't know what's right and what's wrong. Bastard, it's already come to this. Why aren't you coming over to accept your death? You actually dare to talk back? Mo Yongkue gnashed his teeth. The 1,000 City of Black Jade would surely die. However, he was already unable to restrain the rage in his heart since a long time ago, and he was determined to scatter the bones of the 1,000 City of Black Jade to vent the hatred in his heart. Gossiping all at once, a bunch of shameless fools. You keep saying that you don't recognize my grandfather as a member of the Mo family, and expelled him from the Mo family. Yet, you still want my grandfather to come forward and die. You bunch of bastards, old bastards. Do you really think that we are easy to bully? My grandfather wasn't willing to say more. He came here to acknowledge his ancestors. Mo Xian and Yan Ying were overbearing, so they deserve to die. You don't know right from wrong, but you want my grandfather to kneel down and accept death. Who do you think you are? Son of a bitch. Today, I, Moling Dongchen, will fight to the death with you. Even if I am spurned by the world, I will not tolerate it. You want my grandfather to lower his head? No way. All of you are arrogant and self-righteous. You think that your Mo family is the strongest in the world. No matter what you say, you don't know the truth at all. You just judge randomly. My grandfather has been wronged for 100,000 years, but who knows? He didn't mean to cause trouble, but he was forced to a dead end. Have you seen it? Have you given him a chance? You directly expelled my grandfather from the Mo family. Do you know what kind of blow it is to a person who regards his family as his life? You guys don't know, a person who came back with a pure heart, carrying hope and faith towards the clan. That kind of pure heart was obstructed by Mo Xian, Mo Yongkue, and Yan Ying, to the point of shitting on our heads. This kind of smashing, it's the end of everything if we die. What harm is there in that? They only had themselves to blame for everything. Even death would not be enough to wipe out their crimes. My grandfather was innocent, but you all believed in slanderous words and expelled him from the family. Although he was disheartened, he didn't forget the kindness of the family and came back just for a trace of belief. But your actions have caused my grandfather to be heartbroken. We didn't come here to cause trouble, but you have forced us to retreat again and again, to the point where we are approaching the bottomless abyss. We have no other choice. If you have the ability, come at me. I, Moling Dongchen, will fight with you till the end. Moling Dongchen was so angry that her face turned pale. Her delicate body kept trembling. She was fighting for her grandfather. Her grandfather was upright and plain-spoken. When had he ever suffered such humiliation? However, he was powerless in front of the family. What's the use of saying so much? The traitor of the family has lost our face. We, the Mo family, will never allow such a bastard to exist. That's right. You have to pay with blood for killing my people. The elders of the Mo family were agitated. They did not listen to Moling Dongchen at all. At this moment, both parties were at daggers drawn and the atmosphere was extremely cold. You bunch of old things. I will fight with you all. Moling Dongchen knew that no matter how much she said, it would only be ignored. It was impossible to change their minds. A bunch of shameless people. How can you be brave? How can you be loyal? Our Mo family does not have such a descendant. Today all of you must die. Our Mo family will definitely clean up the family. Mo Xueqi was like a fox exploiting a tiger's might. Relying on a group of Mo clansmen, he became very high-profile and domineering at this moment. Thousand City of Black Jade. I only have one question for you. Do you know your mistake? Kneel down and accept the punishment from the family. Perhaps, I can let you go and spare your descendant. The third elder said in a deep voice. His eyes turned cold as he pointed his sword at the Thousand City of Black Jade. Thousand City of Black Jade, what's wrong with you? Please enlighten me. Third elder. The Thousand City of Black Jade stood with his head held high. What did he do wrong? He did not do anything wrong. He did not do anything wrong. Why did he have to bear everything? Even his granddaughter stood up for him at this moment. Why couldn't he let it go? Good. The third elder Mo Xueqi nodded his head. His voice was calm without any trace of emotion. At this moment, everyone knew that the third elder was completely infuriated by the Thousand City of Black Jade. When the third elder was really angry, he was extremely calm, but he was more terrifying than anyone else. In that case, since you don't think that you are a member of the Mo family, I can only teach you a lesson. You so-called unruly people, as the younger generation, you must have the determination to sacrifice your life for the family. From now on, there is no meaning for you to live in this world anymore. Mo Xueqi looked calm and said coldly, Do it. Kill without mercy. Chapter 3751. Moling Dongchen and his grandfather looked at each other. They knew that today's matter would not end well. The people of the Mo family did not listen to them at all. They were determined to kill them here. The reason was hard to guess. However, they believed Mo Xueqi's words. They believed that the Thousand Black Jade City was here to pick a quarrel and take revenge for what they had done to them in the past. You don't know what's good for you. Today, the Mo family will crush your bones and scatter your ashes. Mo Xueqi shouted in a deep voice. He stood at the edge of the battlefield. They would definitely be killed in this battle. The people of the Mo family, these arrogant juniors, must pay the price for what they have done. The people of the Thousand Black Jade City should all die. If you want me to die, I will drag you down with me. The Thousand Black Jade City looked at Mo Xueqi viciously. Mo Xueqi felt a chill down his spine. This guy really dared to do that. Especially now, he had no idea how to deal with the Thousand Black Jade City. He was definitely not a match for him. He could only wait for an opportunity to give the Thousand Black Jade City a fatal blow. At this moment, he could only choose to retreat. His eyes were like a venomous snake that made people shiver. Once they were targeted by him, they would definitely not have a good life. The third elder waved his hand. Everyone took a step forward. Their imposing aura surged. More than 40 Divine Emperor realm experts instantly surrounded the Thousand Black Jade City and the others. 18 Divine Emperor Realm experts were like a cup of water to a burning cart of firewood. Most importantly, the third elder took the lead and confronted the 1,000 Black Jade City directly. The battle was about to begin. Third elder, I'm sorry. The 1,000 Black Jade City said coldly. Facing the third elder, he exerted all of his strength. Terrifying airwaves swept across the sky as he fought against the third elder alone. However, there were too many of them. Each of them was a Divine Emperor Realm expert. They were the elites of the Mo family. It was difficult for the 1,000 Black Jade City to fight against 10 of them alone. The third elder charged forward step by step with unstoppable force. In addition, the 1,000 City of Ink Jade had exhausted quite a bit of his physical strength from the previous battles. It was completely impossible for him to deal with so many Divine Emperor Realm experts. Apart from being in a difficult situation, his techniques were also completely suppressed. It was impossible for him to turn the situation around. On the other side, even the clansmen led by Moling Dongchen were shocked. At this moment, the people of the Mo family's side branch were suffering. The third elder took a step forward and forced the 1,000 City of Black Jade to retreat. His hand seals were linked together and thunder roared. It was extremely terrifying. The sky was filled with black clouds. The surrounding disciples of the Mo clan were all incomparably agitated. Going against them would only mean death. If they wanted to die, they would accompany them to the end. The 1,000 Black Jade City was already showing signs of fatigue. It was completely difficult for him to deal with the third elder. Although Moling Dongchen was resisting with all his might, the situation was not good either. As time went by, Moling Dongchen and the others became more and more restrained. Their injuries were quite severe. After all, they were facing more than 40 Divine Emperor Realm experts and it was difficult for them to change the situation. I'll hold them off. You guys leave quickly. 1,000 Black Jade City said in a deep voice. At this moment, they no longer had any path of retreat. They were in a life-and-death situation. He absolutely couldn't let his juniors die here with him. Since the Mo clan had already decided to kill them, they wouldn't show any mercy. After all, this matter was because of him. That's why they started a war with the Mo clan. Even though he didn't mean for it to happen, the situation had already developed to this stage. Who would feel good in their hearts? When they were forced to do so, the 1,000 City of Black Jade City did not kill anyone. However, he killed Moling Dongchen. Yan Ying's death was his own fault. He committed suicide and it had nothing to do with him. However, the Mo family had regarded him as the culprit. Who could endure such humiliation? The moment he returned to the Mo family, the 1,000 City of Black Jade City knew that it would not be easy for him to return to the Mo family and acknowledge his ancestors. He would not have any complaints even if he was despised and ridiculed by others. However, Mo Xian and Yan Ying's aggressiveness had forced him into a situation where he had no choice but to fight. I've always been loyal to the moon, but the moon shines in the ditch. The 1,000 City of Black Jade City was extremely sad. However, he could not do anything. At this moment, he could only fight with his life on the line so that his juniors could have a chance to escape. I won't leave. Grandpa, I want to live and die with you. Moling Dongchen said in a deep voice. He swore that he would not leave. He would fight with his grandpa until the end. The Mo family was a bunch of people who could not distinguish right from wrong. She had fought to her heart's content in this battle. Even if she lost, she would not have any complaints. Grandpa had suffered a lot of humiliation. Today, he would not be bullied by them again. We swear to follow the family head till death. We swear to follow the family head till death. None of the Mo clansmen chose to leave. Even if they were to die, they wanted to die behind the 1,000 Black Jade City. They were fearless. They were all elites picked out from 10,000 people. For the sake of following their clan master, they would not waver even in death. A bunch of people who don't know what's good for them. Even if you want to leave, you won't be able to. Mo Xueqi did not plan to let any of them go. His son and wife were both dead. Who could he reason with? He could only vent his anger on Moling Dongchen and the others. So, he wanted all of them to die together with him. Mo Xueqi was behind the third elder, chasing after the 1,000 City of Black Jade City. Each of his moves was ruthless and full of killing intent. The 1,000 City of Black Jade City was constantly injured and flew backwards. At this moment, Moling Dongchen was finally defeated. The situation had become one-sided. Moling Dongchen and the others did not have any strength to fight back at all. Get out of here. The third elder's hand seal moved, causing the wind to howl and cranes to cry out. He controlled the peak of 10,000 miles and directly pressed down on the Ink Jade Millennium City, making it difficult for him to move. With a wave of his hand, even Moling Dongchen couldn't escape from the calamity. He was directly suppressed by the third elder. In an instant, more than 40 Divine Emperor Realm experts were like a hot knife cutting through butter, trapping everyone in the cage, making it hard for them to move forward. Their battle intent was completely extinguished and their vitality was completely exhausted. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I'm sorry. The Thousand City of Black Jade City covered his face and cried. His heart was filled with regret. If it wasn't for him, they would never be in such a predicament. He stubbornly wanted to return to the Mo family. However, he was ridiculed by the Mo family. In the end, Mo Xian and Yan Ying forced him into a hopeless situation. Only then did he start the war with the Mo family. Every injustice has its perpetrator. Third elder, please make it clear. It's all my fault. Please let them go. They are all the people of the Mo family. Let me bear my fault alone. The Thousand City of Black Jade said with a painful expression. He felt bitter and embarrassed. Since the moment you decided to go against the Mo family, all of you deserve to die. Chapter 3752. We are born from the same root. Why are we in such a hurry to destroy each other? Thousand City of Black Jade felt an incomparable pain in his heart. He had never thought that things would turn out like this. Facing the censure of the entire Mo clan, he knew that he was weak and had no one to rely on. Now that he had been defeated, all of them were going to die here. Thousand City of Black Jade was filled with regret. Third elder, they are also members of the Mo clan. They did nothing wrong. The Thousand City of Black Jade said with a pleading look in its eyes. You've made a mistake. You've given birth to unfilial children. That's why they don't need to live in this world. They all deserve to die. The cold and emotionless side of Mo Xueqi made the Thousand City Black Jade finally see the side of the impartial ghost judge. His own mistakes were all blamed on the younger generation. What kind of logic was this? From the very beginning it was a mistake. This sentence made Thousand City of Black Jade speechless. Who told them to be inferior? Their lives were already in the hands of the Mo family. Grandpa, we don't need to beg them. Life and death are up to fate. Success and failure are up to the heavens. Since we've lost, we have no complaints. As a member of the Mo family, I even feel ashamed. This group of old fogies who don't do anything really makes my heart cold. They make me speechless. They only know how to live in their own world. They don't care about the life and death of others. Old people who don't die are regarded as thieves. They are simply a den of thieves. Moling Dongchen shouted angrily. She was incomparably indignant. For the first time, she felt that her family name was a humiliation. Since he had no other choice, he would rather die standing than kneel to live. Moling Dongchen and the others had already disregarded life and death. Mo Yuqianqing could not help but cover his face and cry. His action had harmed everyone. He wanted to return to the Mo family. Although his heart was burning, he was not welcomed by the Mo family at all. Mo Yuqianqing's heart was on fire. Damned girl, you're spouting nonsense. You don't know how to respect your elders. Today, I'll properly teach you a lesson. Mo Yongkue was incomparably furious in his heart. Mo Xian was killed by her, so how could he not be furious? He was determined to kill Moling Dongchen to relieve the hatred in his heart and avenge his son. He could not wait any longer. The horrifying palm fell from the sky and was about to hit Moling Dongchen's face. Moling Dongchen was not afraid of death and his expression was cold. Even though he was facing such a horrifying battle strength, Moling Dongchen did not even frown. She was not inferior to men. Dressed in black, she had a valiant and formidable-looking bearing. Her peerless elegance caused others to gasp in amazement. She was as beautiful as a fairy and as cold as ice. She vowed to defend her last dignity with her life. Hum. The sound of a finger being flicked resounded in the sky as Mo Yongkue was blown back. A cold light flickered from the might of that finger and struck Mo Yongkue's chest, causing him to be heavily injured as blood spurted from his mouth. Who was it? Get out here. Mo Yongkue was bewildered. He moved closer to the third elder. His complexion was pale and unsightly. Even the third elder's expression was gloomy. He did not expect that there was such a powerful figure hiding in front of the Mo family, and they did not know about it at all. "May I know your name? I'm afraid it's a bit too much to injure someone in front of the Mo family," the third elder said faintly to the sky. At that moment, Jiang Chen stepped out from the clouds. He carried the crystal coffin on his shoulder and his face was cold. Everyone was dumbfounded. Only Moling Dongchen stared at that figure. His body trembled and even his lips were trembling. "If you want to touch her, you'll have to go through me first," Jiang Chen said calmly and glanced at Moling Dongchen. The latter's eyes were filled with complicated emotions, especially when he saw the crystal coffin on Jiang Chen's shoulder. He did not know what to say. Jiang Chen looked at Jiang Chen. Could it be that the woman in the crystal coffin was the one that he had been looking for? "I'm sorry." Jiang Chen looked at Moling Dongchen. He did not even look at the third elder, Mo Xueqi and the others. He only had Moling Dongchen in his eyes because he felt that he had to give her an explanation. He felt sorry for leaving without saying goodbye. Moling Dongchen shook his head. "You don't owe me anything. She's the one you've been looking for, right?" Moling Dongchen asked. Jiang Chen nodded his head. "I'm not as good as her." Moling Dongchen sighed. There was a hint of bitterness at the corner of his mouth. His eyes were filled with complicated emotions. It was a great gift from the heavens for Jiang Chen to come. "May I know who you are? You should give me an explanation since you dare to behave atrociously in front of the Mo family," Mo Xueqi said in a deep voice. He looked at Jiang Chen again. His eyes were filled with coldness. This guy is strong, very strong. However, it was unreasonable to look down on the Mo family in front of the Mo family. Mo Xueqi was very angry. Wasn't he looking down on the Mo family? "Who's this guy? He's so powerful." Elder Mo Yongkue was severely injured by just one finger. "This is a miracle." Even the third elder did not dare to face him head-on. "I can see that this guy's strength is not ordinary. He dares to be so arrogant in front of the Mo family. No matter who he is, he must pay the price." "That's right. This is the Mo family's internal matter. How can an outsider interfere in it?" Everyone in the Mo family was angry. The appearance of Jiang Chen had made the Mo family nervous again. Thousand Black Jade City seemed to know Jiang Chen's identity. His granddaughter was trapped in love because of him. "I, Jiang Chen, have always done things like this. If you're unhappy, you can come at me. I, Jiang Chen, will accompany you to the end." Jiang Chen's words made everyone suck in a breath of cold air. A man's name was like a tree's shadow. Jiang Chen's name had already spread across the realm of the gods. Moreover, the Mo family was such a powerful force. They must have heard of him. "Jiang Chen. It's him. How is this possible? Isn't Jiang Chen in the Middle Region Divine Land? Why would he appear here? What? Is it really Jiang Chen? He's my idol. No one can compete with him in the Middle Region. This guy is too overbearing. Damn it. If it's really Jiang Chen, our Mo family will be in trouble." It's hard to say. The third elder is not someone to be trifled with. This Jiang Chen dares to act like a tyrant in our Mo family. We will not allow it. Chapter 3753. Jiang Chen. This name was originally a legend. A name that caused people to fear like a tiger. Ever since the battle in the Central Region Divine Land, he had truly become known as who in the world doesn't know of him. As long as it was a truly powerful force, there wasn't anyone who didn't know of the existence of Jiang Chen. He defeated the Mountain and Sea sect and the Eight Extreme sect, and even the Martial Dan Hall suffered a great loss. One could imagine how powerful such a figure was. From the Divine Emperor to the merchants, there wasn't anyone who didn't admire Jiang Chen. Because he had done something that many people didn't dare to do. He dared to challenge the true authority, experts, and powerful forces. Regardless of the outcome, being able to survive was the embodiment of an expert. Many people were guessing where Jiang Chen was, where he was, and whether this great Buddha would appear in some corner of the world. The Mo clan had never imagined that Jiang Chen would appear in their Mo city, and even become enemies with the Mo clan. This made countless people of the Mo clan feel suffocated, as if they were facing a great enemy. Jiang Chen's appearance had brought great pressure to everyone. Because he was too powerful, too terrifying. No one was willing to be his enemy. A half-step emperor, ruling over the 9 heavens. Even the Mo clan, an elite force of the 100 clans contend, had to avoid mentioning Jiang Chen. When the third elder, Mo Xueqi, heard Jiang Chen's name, his heart skipped a beat. It was undeniable that the Mo clan wasn't a true colossus to Jiang Chen. Even an existence like the Martial Dan Hall had to be ruthless in the hands of Jiang Chen. What did their Mo clan have to do? How could they be enemies with Jiang Chen? But then again, the arrow on the bowstring had to be released. Now that the Thousand City of Black Jade and the Mo family were irreconcilable enemies, 2 divine emperor experts had died in the hands of the Thousand City of Black Jade and their descendants. How could they settle this score? Now that Jiang Chen had appeared out of nowhere, they felt that this matter was tricky. Jiang Chen stood there like an unstoppable god of war. The people of the Mo clan's branch were extremely shocked. Jiang Chen's appearance had given them a chance to live. It wouldn't be that easy for the Mo clan to kill them. Moling Dongchen looked at Jiang Chen. That figure seemed to be getting further and further away from her. Many times, she had an illusion that she would be reunited with Jiang Chen at this moment. Would they forget about the past and marry each other? However, when she saw the lady in the crystal coffin, she knew that her position in Jiang Chen's heart would never be comparable to hers. Moreover, Jiang Chen's only concern had been her all the way from the 9 regions immortal world. Her position in Jiang Chen's heart was irreplaceable. It was the same for everyone. However, Moling Dongchen did not regret falling in love with Jiang Chen. Living alone, one should not stick to the old rules. There should be some changes and different feelings. At least, there would be no regrets. Moling Dongchen was a little surprised by the appearance of Jiang Chen, but she was also happy about it. However, women would always compare themselves with others. Compared to Jiang Chen, she knew that she was not as good as Jiang Chen. Thousand Black Jade City's expression was solemn. Jiang Chen's appearance was undoubtedly the biggest change. The people of the Mo clan did not dare to attack them anymore. At this moment, they had fallen into a deadlock. Jiang Chen's strength alone had put the entire Mo clan in a passive position. His courage and strength were really shocking. Thousand Black Jade City had never admired anyone, but Jiang Chen was the first. Because he knew that Jiang Chen came from the 9 regions immortal world. How many years had it been? In less than 1,000 years, he had already reached the half-step emperor realm. Such talent was unheard of in the entire divine world. Jiang Chen, I admit that you're very strong. However, our Mo clan is not a pushover. Third Elder Mo Xueqi said in a deep voice. Jiang Chen was strong, but it did not mean that he could cover the sky with one hand. The Mo clan's strength was undeniable. It was not easy to make them lower their heads and submit to Jiang Chen. Although Jiang Chen was strong and had a great reputation in the middle region, the Mo clan would not back down without a fight. Jiang Chen was strong, but the Mo clan was not a coward. Why don't you try? Although I, Jiang Chen, do not like to stir up trouble, I'm not afraid of trouble. Jiang Chen smiled and said calmly. Mo Xueqi had already spurted out blood and his face was pale. This guy was not a match for Jiang Chen at all. He was heavily injured in just a short fight. If it was not for the Mo clan's protection, he would have died if Jiang Chen used a little more strength. You! Mo Xueqi's face turned pale. He did not dare to challenge Jiang Chen at all. Third Elder, please seek justice for me. My wife and children are all dead. I, Xueqi, have no face to continue living in this world. Mo Xueqi said with tears and snot running down his face. His hands were trembling. He could only beg the Mo clan to seek justice for him. Mo Xueqi's expression was solemn. The death of Mo Xueqi's wife and children was a matter of the Mo clan's reputation. If they were to let this matter go, the Mo clan's reputation would be completely ruined. So what if it was Jiang Chen? Their Mo clan was a true great clan. What was there to be afraid of? Don't worry. My Mo clan will not be controlled by others. Not even the Heavenly Emperor. Mo Xueqi said in a deep voice. He then turned to Jiang Chen with a cold expression. Jiang Chen, on account that you're a peerless expert with an illustrious reputation, and that my Mo family is a great family of our generation, my Mo family will not pursue this matter any further as long as you leave quickly. Otherwise, if you really want to fight with us to the death, don't blame us for being impolite. No matter how strong you are, you will not be able to do anything alone. Mo Xueqi said with a trace of dignity. The Mo clan had never been afraid of anyone. If it was not because of Jiang Chen's great reputation in the Middle Continent, they would not have surrendered so easily. It's useless to say more. As long as I am here, no one will be able to hurt them, Jiang Chen said righteously. Jiang Chen was duty-bound to protect the Mo clan's dignity. Moreover, the Thousand Black Jade City had endured humiliation for 100,000 years. Even if the relationship between Jiang Chen and Moling Dongchen was not that good, he would not just stand by and watch. You're courting death. The elder behind Mo Xueqi was furious. Although Jiang Chen was famous, the Mo clan was nothing to be trifled with. At this moment, the Mo clan had already spoken to him humbly. However, Jiang Chen still did not know what was good for him and insisted on fighting with them to the death. There was no doubt that both parties would be at each other's throats. I would like to see how powerful your Mo clan is. How is it compared to the Mountain and Sea sect? How is it compared to the Baji sect? Chapter 3754. Since that's the case, it seems like there's no need for us to talk anymore. We, the Mo family, will never compromise. This is our Mo family's matter. If you want to interfere in it, you're being ungrateful. Whoever dares to stop me today will be the enemy of the Mo family. Get into formation and prepare for battle. Mo Xueqi shouted in a deep voice. Facing Jiang Chen, the Mo family was facing an unprecedented enemy. This battle was not going to be easy for the Mo family. Little brother Jiang Chen, you don't hurt yourself, Thousand City of Black Jade said guiltily. Now that Jiang Chen was involved, he was helpless. The gap between the Mo family and the Mo family was imaginable. Moreover, it was impossible for him to go against the Mo family. The Mo family was unkind to him and he could not be unjust to the Mo family. After all, this was the place where he was born and raised. Thousand City of Black Jade knew that if Jiang Chen joined the battle, the Mo family would definitely be in a difficult situation. However, no matter how strong Jiang Chen was, he was alone. It was not easy for him to be the enemy of the entire Mo family. Although the 8 Extreme School and the Mountain and Sea sect were the top sects in the Central Plains, they were not necessarily much stronger than the Mo clan. After all, the Mo clan was one of the 100 schools of thought that had been passed down since ancient times. Their strength could not be underestimated, and their foundation was so deep that even the Thousand Black Jade City did not know about it. Jiang Chen nodded slightly. Although the Mo family was strong, he did not put them in his eyes. The current Jiang Chen was not someone who could be easily bullied. Be careful, Moling Dongchen said worriedly. Jiang Chen was carrying the crystal coffin on his shoulder after all. If he were to fight against these people, he might not be able to tell who would be the stronger one. That's why Moling Dongchen was worried. After all, this was the territory of the Mo family. The people of the Mo family were good at using the ink attack technique, which was comparable to the Yin-Yang 5 elemental formation and the Qi-Men Danjia. Jiang Chen smiled. At least, Jiang Chen did not put the Mo family, Mo Xueqi and the others in his eyes. The fight is finally going to start. Whether this Jiang Chen is a pushover or not will be revealed soon. Behaving atrociously in front of our Mo family, no matter how powerful he is, he will not be able to turn the tide. Although he is famous, our Mo family is not to be trifled with. This battle will definitely be extremely dangerous and shocking. I can't wait anymore. Ha ha ha, Jiang Chen, I really want to see how strong this legendary person is. The people of the Mo clan were very curious about Jiang Chen. Mo Xueqi brought dozens of Divine Emperor realm experts of the Mo clan and surrounded Jiang Chen. This battle was related to the dignity of the Mo clan. They could only win. Jiang Chen held his blade horizontally and stood with his sword. That kind of indomitable might cause the Mo family to hold their breath and not dare to be negligent. After all, Jiang Chen's prestige was there. At the very least, they had to give Jiang Chen some respect. Kill! Along with Mo Xueqi's shout, dozens of Divine Emperor realm experts of the Mo clan swarmed towards Jiang Chen. Mo Xueqi was the one leading the charge. That kind of horrifying pressure made the sky and earth change color. Thousand Black Jade Cities and Moling Dongchen could feel the extreme pressure and their bodies were trembling. I don't know if this guy can survive. Thousand Black Jade Cities was a little worried about Jiang Chen. Don't worry, Grandpa. He won't fall easily. Compared to the Thousand City of Black Jade, Moling Dongchen's worry for Jiang Chen was unchangeable. In her heart, Jiang Chen would never be defeated. Facing the dozens of Divine Emperor Realm experts and Mo Xueqi, Jiang Chen's expression did not change. His figure moved like lightning and kept dodging. No one could get close to him. Even when Mo Xueqi dashed towards Jiang Chen and blocked all his escape routes, Jiang Chen was not afraid at all. He clashed with Mo Xueqi's palm and instantly sent Mo Xueqi flying backwards. The third elder, Mo Xueqi, was so weak in front of Jiang Chen. He was a half-step Emperor Realm expert. He was the true pillar of the Mo clan. Although Mo Xueqi had stabilized herself, the people of the Mo clan were still frightened. Was Jiang Chen really that strong? Mo Xueqi was the third elder of the Mo clan. Who would have thought that she would be defeated by Jiang Chen? It was unimaginable. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! This Jiang Chen is not a human. Even the third elder is not his match? Terrifying. Truly terrifying. The people of the Mo clan were deeply frightened. Jiang Chen had forced Mo Xueqi to retreat with just one palm. At that moment, the people of the Mo clan were in an uproar. They were shocked by Jiang Chen's strength. The one who was the most shocked was Mo Xueqi. Because the power of Jiang Chen's palm was like the change of heaven and man. Mo Xueqi was actually forced to retreat with just one palm. Even he felt ashamed of himself. However, Jiang Chen was like an Emperor Realm expert. He stood there unmoving like a mountain. It was impossible for him to defeat Jiang Chen. 3,000 Flames Dragon Seal. Jiang Chen waved his hand. His hand seals changed again. A fire dragon soared into the sky and soared into the heavens. Dozens of Divine Emperor Realm experts turned pale. They had used all their strength to attack, but they were still forced to retreat by Jiang Chen. The 3,000 Flames Dragon Seal had instantly injured dozens of Divine Emperor Realm experts. Jiang Chen stood at the peak of all existences, majestic and imposing. His divine might was unparalleled as he stood in the sky. Jiang Chen's might was unparalleled. Mo Xueqi had never thought that the battle would end like this. He thought that it would be an evenly matched battle. How could he not give Jiang Chen a show of strength with the help of dozens of Divine Emperor Realm experts? Although the injury wasn't too serious, this palm strike had already explained everything. Although the injury wasn't too serious, this palm strike had already explained everything. It was not without reason that Jiang Chen could turn the entire Central Region Divine Land upside down. A half-step Emperor Realm expert had taught Mo Xueqi a good lesson. Mo Xueqi was also a half-step Emperor Realm expert, but their strength and aura were completely different. Mo Xueqi sighed in his heart. He was extremely shocked. However, the truth spoke louder than words. Jiang Chen was too strong. Even he did not dare to face him head-on. Their Mo clan had fallen into a passive position in this battle. Jiang Chen, you're so cruel! Mo Xueqi shouted. Although half of the Divine Emperor Realm experts did not die, their tendons and meridians were broken and their dantian was crushed. They would definitely become a cripple. Jiang Chen sneered and shook his head. Chapter 3755. Jiang Chen and Mo Xueqi looked into each other's eyes. Jiang Chen was telling the truth. If he was the one who failed today, all of them would die without a burial place. However, the result was the opposite. The one who lost was not him but Mo Xueqi. Therefore, almost half of those Divine Emperor Realm experts were crippled by Jiang Chen. Even so, Jiang Chen was already being merciful. After all, he did not kill all of them. The people from the Mo family's branch, 1000 Black Jade City, came here to pledge allegiance to the Mo family. They hoped that they could return to the Mo family. They were not here to stir up trouble. Even if they joined in, it was still the Mo family's matter. If Jiang Chen really killed those Divine Emperor Realm experts of the Mo family, the ones who would suffer in the end would be Moling Dongchen and the others. The Mo family would definitely not rest until they were dead. Thank you, little brother Jiang Chen. 1000 Black Jade City sighed with emotion. Jiang Chen was powerful enough to kill those Divine Emperor Realm experts. However, they were either crippled or heavily injured in the end. He did not make the situation irreversible. This was the last dignity that Jiang Chen left for him. It was his last chance. 1000 Black Jade City's admiration and gratitude towards Jiang Chen was indescribable. Jiang Chen didn't say much but continued to face Mo Xueqi. The gap between the two of them was obvious. Mo Xueqi knew very well that he wasn't a match for Jiang Chen. This incomparably ferocious fellow was like a human-shaped killing machine. He didn't have any chance to defeat him. The Mo family had fallen into a precarious situation. However, the dignity of the Mo family couldn't be tarnished, and the reputation of the Mo family couldn't be tarnished. Jiang Chen, you're digging your own grave. Do you know that? Mo Xueqi shouted in a deep voice. The members of the Mo family behind him had already disappeared. Not many of them were still standing here. Under Jiang Chen's power, the entire Mo family was forced back. Many of them were injured, and almost all of them had lost their ability to fight. Mo Xueqi was exasperated that Jiang Chen didn't meet his expectations, but even he himself wasn't Jiang Chen's opponent. He couldn't even withstand a single blow from Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen had forced him back with a single palm. All I know is that you guys don't distinguish between right and wrong. You won't even let your own clansmen go. Do you know the whole story? Do you know the humiliation that Thousand Black Jade City has suffered all these years? You don't know at all. You only know that you are high up in the mountains, and everyone else is like dog shit in your eyes. Right? Jiang Chen sneered. This Mo Xueqi was an extremely pedantic fellow. He didn't have any reason at all, and he didn't even know what was going on. He just made things difficult for Thousand Black Jade City and the others, and even his own people were no exception. There's no need for an outsider like you to interfere in the matters of my Mo family. Don't even think about leaving here alive today. Mo Xueqi said furiously, glaring at Jiang Chen. I've never planned to leave this place. Not only will I not leave, I will also pass through your Mo family and head to the peak of the Southern Sea. Jiang Chen said. With just you? Ha ha ha, you want to go to the peak of the Southern Sea? You're overestimating yourself. Today, you'll have to pass through us first. My Mo family is not that easy to bully. Mo Xueqi was full of confidence. Even though the Divine Emperor experts around him were defeated, Mo Xueqi was still fearless towards Jiang Chen. It's not up to you whether I can go to the peak of the Southern Sea or not. You're not qualified to stop me. Jiang Chen shook his head. In his eyes, even though Mo Xueqi was a half-step Emperor realm expert, he was just a clown in his eyes. Mo Xueqi's strength was incomparable to his. Jiang Chen carried the crystal coffin on his shoulder. Without any hesitation, he took a step forward, causing the heavens to tremble. Back off! Mo Xueqi rushed forward once again. The two peak Divine Emperor experts beside him also lent him a helping hand. They clashed with Jiang Chen again. Terrifying fist auras bombarded the void. Jiang Chen's unstoppable momentum made Mo Xueqi unable to defend himself. Within 10 moves, the two peak Divine Emperors were defeated, spurting out blood from their mouths. On the other hand, Mo Xueqi wasn't any better. His face was deathly pale, and he was moving cautiously. His arms were completely numb, and his eyes were dull. Jiang Chen was just too strong, so strong that it made his hair stand on end, so strong that he couldn't even muster the strength to resist. They were both at the half-step Emperor realm, but the gap between them was terrifying. Get lost! Jiang Chen's thunderous fist shattered the mountains and rivers. Mo Xueqi's blood and qi were boiling. His body was on the verge of collapsing. Wiping away the blood from the corner of his mouth, Mo Xueqi stood up once again. Undeniably, he was quite persistent to be able to stand up under Jiang Chen's invincible might. Ink attack star technique. Mo Xueqi's voice was loud and clear. With a wave of his palm, the surrounding void within 1,000 li of Mo City was stirred up. The sky above Mo City changed color. Be careful, this is the Mo family's strongest ink attack star technique. It can light up the heavens and break through the stars. Thousand City of Ink Jade's expression changed drastically. The ink attack that was set up around the Ink City was even more powerful than a formation. The Mo family had relied on the ink attack to gain a foothold in the entire divine world. Other than the core members of the Mo family, no one knew how powerful the ink attack was. The sky was filled with stars, and the surrounding space was collapsing continuously. The stars were like rays of light shooting out from the horizon. They were incomparably bright and resplendent. However, every ray of starlight was like an unparalleled sharp blade that could pierce through the heavens and earth, leaving no room for escape. Divine Golden Bell. God's Sealing Prohibition. Jiang Chen's expression was cold as he shouted in a deep voice. The Eastern Emperor Bell was fully unleashed at this moment, blocking off the starlight technique. Jiang Chen had to admit that he was shocked. The starlight technique was like a storm. It was rapid and fierce. It was extremely concentrated. Wherever the starlight technique passed through, not even a blade of grass could be seen. Everything was turned into ashes. No one can break through my star technique. Transform. Xueqi shouted angrily. He turned his palm once again, using the starlighting technique to light up the stars in all directions. Rays of starlight came from the heavens, crushing the void and tearing the Eastern Emperor Bell apart. Even Jiang Chen had to face it head-on. Although Xueqi was not a top-notch expert, the Mo family's ink attack star technique was quite abnormal. Eastern Emperor Limitless Art. Divine Golden Bell. Jiang Chen had already comprehended the Eastern Emperor Limitless Art. Although the Eastern Emperor Bell could not reach its peak under the constant restoration of the myriad Qi cauldron, it was getting stronger day by day. Its aura was like a dragon. Chapter 3756. The divine bell descended from the heavens and the earth, and the golden light illuminated the sky. The so-called ink attack star-pointing technique did not have any power to fight back under the terrifying suppression of the Eastern Emperor Limitless Art. The ink attack star-pointing technique was magnificent and powerful. However, under the strong suppression of the Eastern Emperor Bell, it became their last hope. Everyone in the Mo family, including Xueqi, held their breath as they were in imminent danger. This Jiang Chen is too strong. Could it be that our Mo family is finished? If this goes on, no one will be able to defeat him, right? It's hard to say. Even the third elder was at his wit's end and was defeated. This situation. Sigh, it's hard to explain in a few words. Jiang Chen's reputation is really well-deserved. Everyone in the Mo family felt insecure. Up until now, Jiang Chen had already destroyed the Mo family's ink attack star-pointing technique. Xueqi was completely at her wit's end. The third elder was the mainstay of the Mo family, a half-step Emperor Realm expert. Even he was defeated. What else could they be proud of? Was the ink attack star-pointing technique so weak in front of Jiang Chen? Moling Dongchen was extremely excited. He had never expected that Jiang Chen would be so powerful. The Mo family had become a pushover in front of him. Even the half-step Emperor Realm experts were not as powerful as him. He had truly stood at the peak of the divine world. Who could reject such a man? Moling Dongchen knew that she already had someone in her heart. However, she could not restrain Jiang Chen. He would eventually soar above the 9 heavens. Moling Dongchen did not know whether it was because of their mutual understanding or ill-fated relationship. No matter what, she knew that she could not continue to change. If she missed this opportunity, it would be the same for the rest of her life. The members of the Mo clan's branch were constantly cheering for Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen did not disappoint them and rose to power, completely destroying the Mo clan's ink attack. To the 1,000 Black Jade City, this was a kind of gratification, but also a kind of self-mockery, because the Mo clan's ink attack was completely useless in front of Jiang Chen. From this one could see how powerful he was. Under the suppression of the Eastern Emperor Bell, Xueqi had nowhere to hide. A half-step martial emperor had been utterly defeated. The people of the Mo clan were also at a loss. Jiang Chen, don't you dare make a mistake. It's not too late to surrender now. If you dare to touch a single hair on me, my Mo family will definitely not let you off. Xueqi was still as confident as ever. It was as if he had no idea that he was the one who had been defeated. He was still acting as if he was high and mighty. Now that your life is in my hands, you want me to surrender? Ha ha ha, is everyone in the Mo family so shameless? You're used to being high and mighty. Do you think everyone has to worship you? Do you really think that you're an ancestor? In my eyes, Jiang Chen, you're nothing but dog fart. Jiang Chen laughed and reprimanded Xueqi. Xueqi was so angry that his face turned ashen. The dignity of the Mo clan was completely trampled by Jiang Chen. Xueqi wanted to reprimand him, but he was suppressed by Jiang Chen's Eastern Emperor Bell. At this moment, he had already become a fish in Jiang Chen's hands. Do you still want to reverse the situation? The people of the Mo clan were used to being high and mighty. Even in the face of Jiang Chen's crazy attack, they still had their own pride and snorted disdainfully at Jiang Chen. Pa! A ruthless slap rang out. Everyone was dumbfounded, including Xueqi. He never thought that Jiang Chen would not kill him, but slap him instead. At this moment, He felt an unprecedented humiliation. You dare to slap me? As an elder of the Mo clan, Mo Xueqi was above tens of thousands of people. No one dared to be disrespectful to him. Even though he lost to Jiang Chen, he still thought of himself as a high and mighty elder, ordering people around. Until Jiang Chen's slap completely woke Mo Xueqi up. He fell into a state of confusion. He had already become Jiang Chen's prisoner, yet he was still so arrogant. Although this slap made him dizzy, what truly made him feel despair was the endless humiliation. As the third elder of the Mo clan, he had a high status. When had he ever been mistreated like this? Even if they killed him, it would be more satisfying than giving him a slap. How would the people of the Mo clan view their own elder? I'm hitting you, you old bastard who flaunts your seniority and pretends to be profound, Jiang Chen said coldly. The people of the Mo clan kept quiet out of fear. Only Mo Xueqi was silently trembling. Pow! Another slap. Mo Xueqi felt that he had no dignity to continue living. Jiang Chen had not only defeated him, he had also made him lose all face. He had no face to continue living in this world. For thousands of years, Mo Xueqi had a high status and commanded others. When had anyone ever scolded him like this? His face had already been damaged. This was something that could not be reversed. Mo Xueqi's face was red and his body was trembling. He was truly trembling because of anger. Losing was not scary. What was scary was having his dignity trampled. That was what Mo Xueqi cared about the most. Jiang Chen was very clear about this. Mo Xueqi had lost his will to live. This was much more painful than falling into the Avici hell. His heart was tormented. Mo Xueqi had lost his will to live. This was much more painful than falling into the Avici hell. It seems that your Mo clan is only so. You can't even withstand a single blow, yet you still want to establish a foothold in the Nantung Divine Prefecture. Today, I, Jiang Chen, have finally seen how trash you are. PFFF. Mo Xueqi spurted out a mouthful of blood. He was almost angered to death by Jiang Chen. This was challenging his bottom line. Although he knew that Jiang Chen was doing this on purpose, Mo Xueqi still couldn't suppress the anger in his heart. You will die a horrible death. Jiang Chen, Mo Xueqi, will not rest until one of us is dead. Mo Xueqi continued to roar, but he was already an arrow at the end of its flight. He had no more strength to fight. Who dares to behave atrociously in front of my Mo clan? A deafening roar resounded in the sky. Two figures arrived one after another. Their strength had reached the half-step emperor realm. They were incomparably terrifying. Standing in the sky, they were like gods of war. Big brother, second brother? Mo Xueqi's breathing stagnated. Big brother and second brother had finally come out. This Jiang Chen was dead for sure. It's the first elder and second elder. This time, Jiang Chen won't be able to escape. That's right. The first elder and second elder are even more terrifying than the third elder. Both of them are half-step emperors. If the two of them were to attack together, it seems that the inner court of the Mo clan has been alerted. Yes, it seems that Jiang Chen won't be able to escape. Chapter 3757. Do you know what you're doing? The great elder of the Mo family said coldly and arrogantly. He pointed at Jiang Chen with a hint of coldness in his eyes. As the great elder of the Mo family, he had the power to decide the life and death of countless people in the Mo family. Even in the Nantung Divine region, he was a well-known figure. Now that the disciples of the Mo family were killed by an outsider, how could he tolerate that? The third elder had been defeated. So, he must get back what he had lost. Since Jiang Chen had disgraced the Mo family, then he would not be able to leave this place. Your Mo family blocked my way. Of course, I have to teach them a lesson. Moreover, it's not that easy to kill my friend. As for your third elder, he is just a motley crew. He doesn't care about right and wrong. The 1,000 Black Jade City belongs to the Mo family, but you want to kill all the people of the Mo family. Is this the style of the Mo family? Jiang Chen sneered. The matter of the Mo family will be handled by our own people. Why do you need to ask? As for whether the third elder is wrong or not, it's not up to you to teach him. This is the matter of the Mo family. What's the matter with you getting involved? The great elder of the Mo family also pointed at Jiang Chen and said without any hesitation, "What you said is reasonable. But you don't know right and wrong. How dare you question me? Ha ha ha, Thousand Black Jade City is a genius of your Mo clan, yet he has fallen to such a state. The Mo clan is truly awe-inspiring. All of you are just a bunch of bastards who don't know what's good for them." Since these people wanted to compete with him, there was no need for him to be polite to them. Plus, he wouldn't stop until Jiang Chen turned the Mo family upside down. Otherwise, the matter of the Thousand Black Jade City would never be solved. That's right. Jiang Chen's strength is too great. Brother Jiang Chen, sigh. Thousand Black Jade City was very nervous. Jiang Chen had treated their matter as his own. He had challenged the Mo family at all costs, which made him very touched. Of course, it was all thanks to Moling Dongchen. If it wasn't for Moling Dongchen, perhaps Jiang Chen would not have meddled in their business. Moling Dongchen was also very solemn. Jiang Chen's feelings were deep and sincere. He was even willing to go against the Mo family for his sake. This made Moling Dongchen feel very warm inside. Although Jiang Chen was already famous and powerful, Moling Dongchen was still worried about the Mo family, who was such a powerful family. "You must be careful, Jiang Chen." Moling Dongchen kept praying. "You dare to be so arrogant and despotic in my Mo family? Looks like you really don't want to live anymore. This old man has roamed the divine world for millions of years, but I have never met such an arrogant and shameless person like you. You dare to strut around my Mo family. Do you really think that there is no one in my Mo family? Since Xueqi has been defeated, let me have a taste of your strength." The leading second elder of the Mo family said in a deep voice. "Xueqi, be careful." The great elder of the Mo family looked at second elder Mo Xueqi and said in a deep voice. The Mo family would definitely not let this matter go. Even if this person was Jiang Chen, so what? The Mo family would not allow anyone to trample on them. They must get their revenge. Mo Xueqi was the eldest brother. At this moment, Mo Xueqi was guarding the south. Mo Xueqi was eager to have a try. Since the third brother had been defeated, he, as the second brother, would definitely not stand by and do nothing. Jiang Chen's name was well known. He also wanted to know how powerful this guy was. "Please enlighten me." Mo Xueqi held his folding fan and smiled. He was confident and calm. They were both half-step emperors and he was definitely not afraid of Jiang Chen. This guy had come from the Central State Divine Land and was praised by many. As to whether he was truly capable, it would depend on whether he could convince him. "I hope you are not as useless as your brother." Third brother Mo Jiang Chen smiled. As he attacked, his long sword moved horizontally and vertically. The Sky Dragon's sword exploded in the air, creating wind and water. The shadow of the sword was like a torch, piercing through the sky. Accompanying Jiang Chen's boundless sword, Mo Xueqi felt as though he was facing a great enemy. "Ink wind walking art." Mo Xueqi shouted angrily. Thunder roared and the wind howled. Blades of wind flew out from the folding fan in his hand and clashed with Jiang Chen's shadow of the sword. Blades of wind, roars. Mo Xueqi's aura was like a dragon as he charged forward. Compared to Mo Xueqi, his strength was obviously a level higher. Although they were both half-step emperors, there was still a gap between the two. Mo Xueqi's eyes were filled with murderous intent as he clashed with Jiang Chen. That kind of power was unparalleled and even felt as though it could reach the heavens. "Second elder, do your best. Kill Jiang Chen and show the might of the Mo family." "Second elder is mighty. Mo family is mighty." Ha ha ha, Jiang Chen does not look like much. Why would the experts of the Mo family be afraid of him? That's right. Let's let them experience what a true expert is. Even if they are extremely famous people in the Central Plains, they will have to obediently surrender in front of our Mo clan's elders. A dragon has to coil up and a tiger has to lie down. The Mo family is not an enemy that just anyone can go against. The eyes of the Mo family members lit up when they saw that Mo Xueqi had forced Jiang Chen back again and again. Jiang Chen, who had risen to fame in the Central Plains Divine Land, was only Ozo. He was completely useless in the hands of Elder Mo Xueqi. "Second brother, you must take revenge for me," Mo Xueqi said through gritted teeth. Previously, she had been viciously taught a lesson by Jiang Chen. If she did not get back at him, she would lose all faith in the Mo family. Jiang Chen was strong, but in the hands of her second brother, He had fallen into a stalemate. There was no way to reverse the situation. Does he really think he is invincible in the world? Jiang Chen shook his head. He only wanted to see if the ink attack of this expert of the Mo family was as powerful as the rumors said. Streaks of wind blades and dragon shadows filled the air and completely crushed down on Jiang Chen. In the eyes of outsiders, Jiang Chen did not have the slightest ability to fight back. However, only Mo Xueqi knew that it would be very difficult for him to kill Jiang Chen. While he had the initiative in terms of presence, Jiang Chen defended the perimeter and his unparalleled sword presence made it impossible for Mo Xueqi's attacks to escape. Sword 22. Chapter 3758. Number 2. Careful. Mo Xueqi's pupils shrank. He originally thought that his number 2's strength was enough to deal with Jiang Chen, but he did not expect the other to attack in an instant. The terror of the limitless sword was not something that Mo Xueqi could withstand. The domineering presence was unparalleled. The limitless sword was the highest realm of swordplay. The domineering presence that could break through everything displayed the ultimate realm of the sword to its fullest. Mo Xueqi's wind-walking art was strong, but the other's methods were even more terrifying. The wind-walking art was broken, and the 20-second sword came from all directions, causing Mo Xueqi to lose the ability to fight. His face was pale as he retreated. The celestial dragon sword's dragon shadow swallowed the sky. Mo Xueqi did not have the ability to fight anymore, and was stabbed to the ground. There were more than 10 wounds, and he fled in a sorry state like a rat on the street. Second brother, Mo Xueqi murmured. Jiang Chen's power was not something they could imagine. They were both half-step emperors, but the limitless sword almost suffocated Mo Xueqi. That was the majesty of an expert. Irreplaceable. Unparalleled. The shadow of the sword followed him like a shadow. Mo Xueqi fled in a sorry state, but he was still heavily wounded by Jiang Chen. His face was covered in dirt, his body trembled, and he was covered in wounds. It was extremely embarrassing. The Mo family members were all dumbfounded. No one had expected that Mo Xueqi, the second elder of the Mo family, who had the upper hand just now, would become so miserable. This is too terrifying? A person's name is like a tree's shadow. We really cannot underestimate him. Jiang Chen is still Jiang Chen. The Mo family members had lingering fear. They finally felt the terror from Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen. What a Jiang Chen. Thousand City of Black Jade was incomparably excited. It was a resonance that came from the depths of his soul. Jiang Chen was like a hot knife cutting through butter. He was invincible. If he returned to the Mo family, perhaps there would be hope. After all, Jiang Chen's strength made the Mo family feel fear. Only in front of absolute strength could he have the right to speak, otherwise, others wouldn't listen to him at all. The strong always occupied the absolute initiative. The weak might not even have the capital to talk to the strong. Therefore there were many weak people who were clearly reasonable, clearly right, but the winner was the king, and the loser was the villain, making them forever shut their mouths. At this moment, Jiang Chen was like an absolute god, and he was above the Mo family. Only then could he have the right to speak. Thousand City of Black Jade also did not expect that Jiang Chen would be so terrifying. Before this, he still hoped that he could obtain the Mo family's understanding, and be able to talk to them directly. At least he was wronged. At least he only wanted to return to the Mo family, and acknowledge his ancestors. But in front of others, he had no right to speak. He would only be treated as an invader, and he would only be ruthlessly slapped in the face. The real history was written by the victors. At this moment, Thousand City of Black Jade finally knew the meaning of this sentence. Big brother, save me. Mo Xueqi exclaimed. Mo Xueqi could not bear to watch anymore. If he did not act, then Mo Xueqi would really be killed by Jiang Chen. Boy, you dare. Mo Xueqi stood in the sky with the mountain and river sword in his hand. He slashed downwards and clashed with Jiang Chen's sword. It was extremely sharp and fiery light soared up to the sky. The remaining power of the 22 swords was still there, but Mo Xueqi was not an easy opponent. At this moment, the two of them finally clashed and both of them retreated. Mo Xueqi panted continuously. After surviving a disaster, Sword 22 would definitely be the nightmare of his life. At that moment, he even felt that he could not be saved, but the appearance of his big brother finally eased his embarrassment. A loss was a loss, but he did not expect to lose so badly. There was definitely a reason why Jiang Chen could be famous in the Central State Divine Land. While Mo Shoucheng was unwilling, he knew that the gap between him and Jiang Chen was not just a little. Big brother, you also have to be careful. Mo Shoucheng warned his big brother. A single mistake could cause everlasting sorrow. If his big brother also died in his hands, then the reputation of the three brothers would be completely destroyed here. Watch my sword. Mo Xueqi squinted his eyes. He already had some understanding of Jiang Chen's limitless sword when he was watching the battle. However, he dared not underestimate Jiang Chen's limitless sword. Whether the sword technique that he comprehended from the ink attack could be compared to Jiang Chen's would depend on who would have the last laugh. Hidden sword art of ink attack. Mo Xueqi stood proudly in the air, and the shadow of his sword flashed across the vast sky. It seemed to be hidden everywhere in the sky, and every shadow was the birth of the sword of no beginning. Passing through the crowds of people and thousands of years, the sword of concealment could be considered one of the most powerful techniques in the Devil Palace. Mo Xueqi was also full of confidence. With this sword, even if he could not win, he could definitely fight evenly with Jiang Chen. Sword 22. Jiang Chen performed it again. His body was as light as a swallow, and the shadow of the sword was like light. The infinite shadow of the sword spread across thousands of miles and collided with each other. Jiang Chen's sword 22 was the pinnacle of swordsmanship, and the supreme swordsmanship. It completely crushed Mo Xueqi. Although Mo Xueqi was prepared for the same technique, he still could not break through the power of sword 22. Too terrifying. Mo Xueqi kept retreating. His hidden sword art of ink attack completely became the background. Under Jiang Chen's sword 22, the seemingly illusory swordsmanship was performed like a sword experiencing a reincarnation. Sword 22 from the beginning to the end, from simplicity to complexity. The domineering aura that could be seen clearly but could not be resisted was what made Jiang Chen most proud. Even if he knew the routine of the sword 22, its changes were endless. Every time he performed it, it would be different even if he didn't perform it 100,000 times. The sword 22 was the sword Dao's path that led to the same destination. It was the starting point of the sword Dao. 1 begets 2, 2 begets 3, and 3 begets all things. But at that moment, Jiang Chen once again comprehended the limitless sword. Sword 22 was still not the end. Perhaps the end was also the starting point. Jiang Chen had no distractions. The shadow of the sword was like the wind, turning into a flying sword. The sword left a sound as it passed. The limitless sword was the primordial state of swordsmanship. At this moment, Jiang Chen had already comprehended a clue about sword 23. Sword 23. Where was sword 23? Jiang Chen had no distractions, but his mind was in turmoil. Where was the ultimate realm of swordsmanship? Go! Jiang Chen pointed with his fingertip. At this moment, his limitless sword was already between sword 22 and sword 23. It could not break through the final state of change. But now, the three elders of the Mo family had all been defeated by Jiang Chen. Chapter 3759. Mo Shoucheng was unwilling, Mo Shoucheng was unwilling, and Mo Xueqi was even more unwilling. The three great elders of the Mo family were defeated by Jiang Chen. The entire Mo family's Missouri City Square was in dead silence. No one had expected that the Mo family would be in such a miserable state. Even they themselves did not believe that they would be utterly defeated. Mo Shoucheng roared in anger. Mo Shoucheng followed closely behind and Mo Xueqi charged forward again. The three of them attacked Jiang Chen like ferocious tigers descending from the mountain. The situation was critical and unpredictable. Above the void, a gust of wind and cloud surged. The Mo family did not expect that the three great elders would fight with their lives on the line. This was too shameful for them. They would never forget this scene for the rest of their lives. Three half-step Emperor realm experts were defeated by the same person in such a miserable state. As the mainstay of the Mo family, how could they accept this? Be careful, Jiang Chen. Moling Dongchen reminded Jiang Chen anxiously. Jiang Chen had already noticed the three of them. He sneered and raised his sword. Instantly, the three of them were pushed back by Jiang Chen. Their bodies were covered with blood. Everyone became extremely nervous and took a deep breath. Jiang Chen's attack was extremely powerful. Jiang Chen had already noticed the three of them. Jiang Chen's sword pierced through the clouds with an imposing manner. They could not withstand the sharpness of his sword at all. Who? Mo Xueqi's face turned pale. He took a deep breath. Fortunately, he managed to dodge in time. Otherwise, he would have been killed by Jiang Chen's sword. Ungrateful bastard, Jiang Chen said coldly. At this moment, a white-clothed man descended from the sky. He was wearing a white robe, which was incompatible with the Mo family. He wore a dark green flag and black robe. In the Mo family, one's appearance was their only choice. However, this white-clothed man was calm and composed. The moment he appeared, the entire Mo family knelt down on the ground. Even Mo Xueqi and the other two elders bowed slightly, showing their respect. The man's robes were spotless. He stared at the middle-aged man coldly. His eyebrows were like stars, and his eyes were like swords. He looked extremely domineering. The middle-aged man's face was full of scars, as if he had been through many hardships. Patriarch. At that moment, the thousand city of ink jade trembled in fear and almost fell to his knees. His eyes were filled with desire. Patriarch? Jiang Chen furrowed his brows, but the smile on his face grew even brighter. Since the person in charge had come out, everything would be fine. That's right. I am the Mo family's patriarch, Mo Yundi. Young friend duo when possesses astonishing strength. Seeing you today, I am truly astonished. Even the three great elders of my Mo family were no match for you. They lost so miserably. He, what a pity. Mo Yundi smiled faintly, unruffled and not angry. Mo Xueqi and the others were also very calm. Their strength had reached the empty Emperor realm, between the half-step Emperor realm and the Emperor realm. Although they were not as strong as Emperor Tianqi, they were not ordinary people. However, in the eyes of Jiang Chen, they were not much of a threat. It's this bastard. Patriarch. Kill him and show the might of our Mo family. How can we allow him to act so rashly in this sacred land? When has our Mo family ever suffered such injustice? Mo Xueqi said with righteous indignation, panting heavily. He was still brooding over Jiang Chen's suppression. At this time, the backbone of the Mo family had finally appeared. He must get the patriarch to seek justice for him. At this moment, no matter how strong Jiang Chen was, he could not be a match for the patriarch. The empty Emperor realm was only half a step away from the true Emperor realm. He seemed to have seen the exciting scene of Jiang Chen being beaten up by the patriarch and finally killed. But what Mo Xueqi did not expect was that he would be scolded by the patriarch. What are you waiting for? If Jiang Chen did not show mercy, the three of you would be crippled even if you don't die. Mo Yundi said coldly. Only he could see that Jiang Chen did not kill them just now. Otherwise, the three of them would not be able to bear the consequences. The three of them took a deep breath and looked at Mo Yundi in disbelief. Jiang Chen did not have the intention to kill the three of them. Although they were ruthless, he had the attitude of negotiating with the Mo family. He could kill them and leave, but what about the 1,000 Black Jade City? What about Moling Dongqin? They wanted to return to the Mo family, and not fight to the death with the Mo family. He was also giving them a way out. Obviously, Mo Yundi was grateful. Otherwise, the three great elders of the Mo family would be crippled. The Nantung Divine region was in a precarious situation. At this moment, if there was such a big earthquake in the Mo family, it would definitely attract attacks from all directions. It would not be easy to have a foothold in the Nantung Divine region. The 1,000 Black Jade City was also grateful. Jiang Chen's action was undoubtedly for their consideration. Otherwise, he could have just killed them. Why did he need to show mercy? The three of them blushed and looked at each other. They did not know what to do at this moment. Jiang Chen's previous reprimand was a great humiliation to the three of them. Now that the patriarch had appeared, he didn't kill Jiang Chen. Instead, he asked them to reflect on their actions. When Mo Xueqi and the others recalled that Jiang Chen hadn't crippled the three of them, they felt as if they had just survived a calamity. If Jiang Chen attacked with all his strength, Mo Xueqi did not dare to imagine whether he would still be standing here unscathed. Jiang Chen, no matter what, you are the enemy of the Mo family. Although I know that you came with good intentions, you have hurt the people of the Mo family and tarnished the reputation of the Mo family. I, Mo Yundi, as the patriarch of the Mo family, am duty-bound. However, since you have your reasons, I, Mo Yundi, will challenge you today. If you defeat me, then forget it. Moreover, I will re-examine the issue of the 1,000 Black Jade City. However, if you lose, Then don't blame me for being ruthless. You must bow and apologize to the people of the Mo family. Mo Yundi pointed at Jiang Chen and said coldly. To Jiang Chen, this wasn't something that he couldn't accept. The condition was very simple because he was sure to win. You are an expert, a man who dominates the world. Aren't you worried? Mo Yundi looked at Jiang Chen and asked. Jiang Chen shook his head. There is nothing to worry about. The benevolent are invincible. The righteous will not lose to you. Jiang Chen's confidence made Mo Yundi full of fighting spirit towards Jiang Chen. The two of them would not fight to the death. This was a gentleman's agreement between the two of them. I like your confidence. However, it is still too early to make a conclusion. The dignity of the Mo family cannot be violated. Chapter 3760. Grandpa, do you think Jiang Chen will win against the family head? Moling Dongchen looked at her grandpa. In fact, she had no confidence in herself. That was why she asked her grandpa. After all, Mo Yundi was the family head of the Mo family and he was very powerful. Now that he had appeared out of nowhere, Jiang Chen was in a worrying situation. Even though he had defeated 3 people in a row, the one in front of him was the legendary family head of the Mo family. For thousands of years, he was the one who had dominated the non-Tung divine region. Using her grandpa's words, Mo Yundi was the most talented genius in the world. His martial prowess was matchless, and he had dominated the current generation for 800 years. It's difficult. Thousand City of Black Jade sighed. Every generation had its own talents. Whether Jiang Chen could laugh till the end, it all depended on Mo Yundi. Now, Jiang Chen and Mo Yundi were fighting in an instant. The sword and the spear intertwined. The light and the shadow intertwined. Both of them had high morale and the momentum of thunder rumbled through the sky. Jiang Chen held the heavenly dragon sword in his hand. The sword was sharp and the limitless sword was displayed again. The sword 22 had already surpassed the realm of the extreme way of swordsmanship. It was full of supreme power. Wherever the sword shadow passed, it seemed as if it had a life of its own. The sword essence was full of spiritual aura and it was incomparably murderous. Jiang Chen had no distractions. There was no joy or sorrow in his heart. There was no joy of victory or defeat. There was no other feelings in his heart. In his eyes and heart, there was only a sword. A sword that could travel thousands of miles to the east and gallop through time. Jiang Chen carried the crystal coffin on his shoulder. For him, this battle was full of pressure. Facing Mo Yundi, Jiang Chen's mind was as sharp as a sword. The sword 22 had transcended the restraints of time, sword shadow, and sword light. It turned into a sword essence that had a life of its own. As the sword essence collided with each other, the entire sky above Mo City seemed to become tense. Everyone looked at the scene in awe. It seemed that a new and unprecedented battle was about to begin. Ink attack, ink shadow art. Mo Yundi shouted in a low voice, and the black spear radiance in his hand appeared everywhere. The spear shadow turned into a black light blade. It was unparalleled and pierced through the endless sky, bringing Jiang Chen unprecedented pressure. The Mo family's ink attack technique is indeed terrifying. Have a taste of my sword 23. Jiang Chen shouted angrily. The sword and the shadow overlapped, intersected, and separated. They turned into sword wills and rushed to the top of the 9 heavens. Sword 23. Soul vanishing shadow. Jiang Chen's sword intent was like many living creatures with souls, filling the sky. The 23 swords had completely transcended the extreme realm of swordsmanship. It was a sword momentum in the state of the soul like a rainbow, and the trend of the general trend. Tens of thousands of souls were like shadows, oppressing the sky. Mo Yundi retreated in defeat with every move. Countless sword wills made it impossible for him to fight back. His ink shadow art and spear radiance flew everywhere, but in the face of Jiang Chen's sword wills, they had already turned into specks of starlight and disappeared. The difference in strength between the two was obvious. I admit defeat, Mo Yundi said in a low voice. He even felt a chill running down his spine. Jiang Chen put away his sword and stood still. The 23 swords still had momentum. If Mo Yundi had not bowed his head and admitted defeat, the 23 swords might have directly injured Mo Yundi or even killed him. Mo Yundi deeply felt the invincibility of this sword, so he did not want to fight to the death with Jiang Chen at all. Because the result was nothing more than Jiang Chen winning. Why should he pay such a high price? Face was indeed very important. That was why the three elders of the Mo family had lost so badly and almost died here. As the head of the family, Mo Yundi was deeply aware of this. He knew when to yield and when to stand tall. Moreover, Jiang Chen was not a strong enemy. He just wanted the people of the branch of the Mo family to return to the family and seek justice. Mo Yundi was defeated. He deeply felt the invincibility of this peerless expert from the central region Divine Land. He did not lose unjustly, but it was a little unbearable. The people of the Mo family could not believe it. In their eyes, the head of the family should be invincible and invincible. However, he took the initiative to admit defeat in front of Jiang Chen. It was imaginable how dreadful the 23 swords was. Only the three elders of the half-step emperor realm knew that Jiang Chen's sword was simply terrifying and invincible. Jiang Chen withdrew his hand and stood still. He was a gentleman. Thousand Black Jade City and Moling Dongchen looked at each other. Both of them were quite shocked. Jiang Chen was able to defeat Mo Yundi. It was indeed something worth celebrating. In other words, at least he had the capital to return to the Mo family. Brother Jiang Chen's strength is really terrifying. I, Mo Yundi, am sincerely convinced. Mo Yundi said bitterly. It was really difficult to admit that he was not as good as Jiang Chen in front of the people of the Mo family. However, a loss was a loss. If he did not even dare to admit it, then he would really lose. Brother Mo is a dragon among men. If I am careless, the one who will lose today will probably be me. Jiang Chen said faintly. Ha ha ha. Brother Jiang Chen is flattering me. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Ha ha. Mo Yundi was very pleased. Jiang Chen's evaluation of him was quite high. It could be said that Jiang Chen had acknowledged him. Although he had lost this battle, he had made friends with an expert like Jiang Chen. It was a blessing in disguise. I think Patriarch Mo should know about the matter regarding the Thousand Black Jade City. He didn't have any complaints in his heart. Even though he had been through 100,000 years of hardships, he only came here today with the hope of returning to the Mo family. He had no intention to fight with anyone, but he was framed time and time again. This should be considered as the Mo family's negligence. As for the outcome, I only hope that Brother Mo can give the Mo family branch an answer and clear his name. Mo Yundi knew what Jiang Chen meant. He sighed. Revenge breeds revenge. When will it end? Let alone his own family. No matter who was right or wrong in the past, it was not important now. Mo Xueqi was the main culprit. It seemed that there was no need to say anything more. I announced that the Mo family's branch, the Thousand Black Jade City, can return to the ancestral temple from today onwards. There is only one Mo family in the whole world and the divine world. Mo Yundi spoke in a solemn voice, exuding a peerless majesty. At this moment, when Thousand Black Jade City heard this, he couldn't help but cry tears of joy. His entire body trembled. He had been waiting for this day for far too long. At this moment, he finally stepped into his homeland and returned to the embrace of the Mo family. The Thousand Black Jade City turned to Jiang Chen and bowed deeply to Jiang Chen. He wanted to kneel down but was stopped by Jiang Chen. After all, he and Moling Dongchen were of the same generation. Although there was nothing between him and Mo Yundi, he would not let the Thousand Black Jade City kneel down to Moling Dongchen's close relative. Thank you. Chapter 3761. Everything in the Mo clan had finally come to an end. The Thousand Black Jade City had also taken root in the Mo clan. Mo Yundi was not a person who couldn't tell right from wrong. Moreover, Jiang Chen's strength was not something that Mo Yundi could compete with. Having such a powerful friend was better than having an enemy. Moreover, it was Mo Xueqi's fault. He was punished to guard the Black Wind prison of the Mo clan for 100,000 years to bear the sorrow of the Thousand Black Jade City. Mo Xueqi's heart was like dead ashes. His son and wife had died completely. Facing the Thousand Black Jade City, Jiang Chen and the others, he had no power to turn the situation around. He could only accept such an ending indifferently. Moling Dongchen and his grandfather, the Thousand Black Jade City, could finally return to the Mo clan with peace of mind. This matter was not complicated. It was just that the Thousand Black Jade City wanted to return to the Mo clan, but he didn't have enough power to do so. Brother Jiang Chen, what do you plan to do next? Mo Yundi looked at Jiang Chen and asked meaningfully. I want to go to the purple bamboo forest at the top of the South Sea. Jiang Chen said bluntly. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect us to have such a tacit understanding. I won't stop you if you want to go to the top of the South Sea. However, you can't enter the purple bamboo forest. Mo Yundi said with a smile. Why? Jiang Chen frowned and asked in a low voice. The current purple bamboo forest is no longer the same as before. Countless people have entered, but not a single one of them has been able to leave alive, and in these past few years, the purple bamboo forest has been filled with exclusivity. Many people can't even find the way to enter the purple bamboo forest. Even the experts of the 100 schools of thought have fallen into the purple bamboo forest and haven't come out for more than 1,000,000 years. So, this time the experts of the 100 schools of philosophers have come to an agreement. In 10 days, we will select 10 great experts to enter the purple bamboo forest to investigate. Many of the experts of the 100 schools of philosophers are in deep trouble, including my younger brother. The purple bamboo forest is no longer the dojo of Bodhisattva. Mo Yundi stopped smiling and his expression became serious. What do you mean? Jiang Chen continued to look at Mo Yundi. 1,000,000 years ago, Avalokitesvara was no longer at the peak of the southern sea. In these 1,000,000 years, no matter what happened, the figure of Avalokitesvara never appeared at the peak of the southern sea again. Some people said that Avalokitesvara had already fallen, and the purple bamboo forest had also become a whirlpool that swallowed the world. No matter how many experts entered it, they never returned. In the past, Bodhisattva was the most powerful existence in the Nantung divine region. He was extremely benevolent toward 100 schools of philosophers. But now, things are different. It's easy to reach the peak of the southern sea now, but the purple bamboo forest is full of mysteries. Countless people view it as a land of death. They don't dare to venture too deep, so the experts of the 100 schools of thought have surrounded the outer perimeter of the purple bamboo forest. This time, the 10 experts of the 100 schools of thought have entered the purple bamboo forest to find the real reason why so many people have died. Since Bodhisattva is no longer there, the purple bamboo forest is the place with the densest spiritual energy in the entire Nantung divine region. Therefore, there are people from the 100 schools of thought who are eager to take it for themselves. It's just that the purple bamboo forest is too mysterious and strange, so they've been put on hold. Now that millions of years have passed, the people from the 100 schools of thought have finally lost their patience. As Mo Yundi explained, Jiang Chen finally understood the reason behind it. This time, I'll definitely bring the Mo clan into the purple bamboo forest to find the reason why so many experts have perished. I hope that brother Jiang Chen can lend me a hand. My Mo clan will be eternally grateful. Mo Yundi cupped his fists and said. He was filled with reverence toward Jiang Chen. If he could obtain such a great help from Jiang Chen, he would be like a tiger that had grown wings. At that time, he would have an additional layer of insurance when he fought against the experts of the 100 schools of thought. Jiang Chen pondered for a moment and said, That's not a problem. I'm just looking for someone, Avalokiteshvara, to save my wife in the coffin. Even if I can't find Avalokiteshvara, the purple bamboo forest is the place with the densest spiritual energy in the entire world. I believe that I'll definitely be able to find what I need in Avalokiteshvara's dojo. Mo Yundi glanced at Jiang Chen and the crystal coffin on his shoulder. The woman in the coffin was a stunning beauty that resembled a celestial fairy. It was no wonder that Jiang Chen was unwilling to let go of her. Jiang Chen's objective this time was extremely clear. He didn't want anything else other than to save his wife. Brother Jiang, don't worry. I'll definitely search with you. As long as I can save sister-in-law, I won't hesitate to do so, Mo Yundi said in a gratified manner. Mo Yundi said with relief. With Jiang Chen's help, he was full of confidence in the war against the 100 schools of philosophers. Brother Jiang Chen, rest for 10 days. After 10 days, I'll definitely bring you to the purple bamboo forest. However, there's no need for you to take action in the 100 schools contend tournament this time. My Mo clan will be enough. Ha! Mo Yundi laughed and said, All right. Jiang Chen nodded his head and turned to leave. On the peak of the Xueyun peak of the Mo clan, the scenery was beautiful. Green water and green mountains were flowing. Birds were chirping and flowers were fragrant. Insects were chirping and beasts were roaring. In an instant, it was drizzling. Jiang Chen sat on the peak of the mountain and gently stroked the crystal coffin. His heart was extremely solemn. If Avalokiteshvara was really gone, where would he go? However, even if he had to go to the ends of the earth, he would definitely find a way to cure Xueqi. Even though the divine origin qi in her body was almost exhausted, he absolutely wouldn't let her leave him just like that. Jiang Chen was full of confidence for the trip to the purple bamboo forest. There was no room for failure. He could only succeed. I want to go with you, Moling Dongchen said in a low voice. Moling Dongchen had already known about the trip to the purple bamboo forest. Therefore, she was very worried about her gains and losses. This time, Jiang Chen had reappeared, but she was afraid that this opportunity would disappear. What if Jiang Chen would never come back after entering the purple bamboo forest? Then, she would definitely regret it for the rest of her life. It's too dangerous there. Jiang Chen shook his head and said, Dangerous? Then why do you want to go? Moling Dongchen said. Jiang Chen looked at Xueqi and said firmly, For Xueqi, even if I have to die, I want to die in the purple bamboo forest. Even if it's the Avicii hell, I want to go there. What's the harm in dying? For you, even if I have to die, I want to die in the purple bamboo forest. Even if it's the Avicii hell, I want to go there. What's the harm in dying? Chapter 3762. Why do you have to do this? I'm not afraid of death for you. Do you really have to reject me? Moling Dongchen bit her red lips. It was already a great courage for her to take such a step. However, Jiang Chen's determination made Moling Dongchen anxious. She was not disheartened. Jiang Chen was doing it for her own good. However, she would rather die with Jiang Chen than to stay in the Mo family and bear the pain of parting. Moling Dongchen knew that she could not leave Jiang Chen anymore after they met again. There was a sense of longing that lingered in his dreams. If Jiang Chen had left, then he wouldn't have chosen to remain silent here. You're not afraid of death, but I'm afraid that I owe you too much. If I can come back alive, I won't let you down, Jiang Chen said in a deep voice. However, at this moment, Xueqi was unconscious and he did not have the mood to talk about other things. If Moling Dongchen insisted on following him into the purple bamboo forest, he would be the only one who knew if there was any danger. I'd rather go through life and death with you. Moling Dongchen's eyes were full of love as she said while gritting her teeth. Activate! Jiang Chen moved his palm and a formation was formed, trapping Moling Dongchen in this place. If Jiang Chen insisted on not giving in, she would definitely not let it go with her temperament. Jiang Chen, what are you doing? Moling Dongchen said angrily. This formation can bind you for a year. After a year, regardless of whether I can come out or not, this formation will be broken. This place is rich in spiritual aura. It's the place with the most spiritual aura in the entire Mo family. It's beneficial for you to cultivate here. After a year, I'll come and see you again. Jiang Chen said. You're a bastard. Jiang Chen, I hate you. I hate you. Moling Dongchen shouted with all her might. Her heart was filled with anger. The formation that Jiang Chen set up had completely enveloped her. There was no chance for her to escape. Even Mo Yundi, the head of the Mo family, might not be able to break the formation that Jiang Chen set up. Moling Dongchen looked at Jiang Chen's back in despair and cried loudly. Jiang Chen closed his eyes and took a deep breath. The most difficult thing to repay in this world was the debt of love. Therefore, Jiang Chen would rather not involve Moling Dongchen in it. He would rather be selfish and stubborn for once. 10 days later, Jiang Chen received a summon from Mo Yundi. The 10 major families of the 100 schools of thought had finally been decided. The Confucian school, Taoist school, Maoist school, military school, legalism school, miscellany school, physician school, famous scholar school, school of vertical and horizontal, and school of yin-yang. The 10 major families were the leaders of the 100 schools of thought. This time, the 10 major families were the strongest competitors in the purple bamboo forest. The Confucian school, Taoist school, Maoist school, military school, and law school. Brother Jiang Chen, in this trip to the South Sea, you, me and the 3 elders are all in it. I hope that you can forgive us. Ha! There are also 5 peak divine emperor experts. Each family has 10 of them. This time, the top 10 families seem to be working together. But in fact, they are doing their own thing. Everyone wants to gain some benefits from it. If we can find out the reason why the purple bamboo forest has declined, there will be a great war. I hope that Brother Jiang Chen can help us. If we work together, we will succeed. Ha! Mo Yundi said with a smile. All right. Jiang Chen did not say much. At this moment, he only had one thought in his mind. That was to rush into the purple bamboo forest and find out the truth. If that's the case, let's not waste any more time. Let's go to the peak of the South Sea. Mo Yundi said confidently. His expression was solemn and excited. After all, he had been brooding over the matter of the purple bamboo forest for many years. Even his younger brother was trapped in it. Countless years had passed, but no one who had entered the purple bamboo forest was able to come out. This made the people of the 100 schools of thought very curious about the purple bamboo forest. Today, the 10 great families had joined hands to enter the forest. It was obvious that it would be a fierce battle. The 10 great families had come prepared. Everyone knew that the purple bamboo forest was a big piece of cake, and everyone wanted it for themselves. However, before that, they had to find out the reason why the purple bamboo forest was so mysterious and had devoured the experts of the past. To the south of the Mo clan was the South Sea. It was a boundless ocean. Once upon a time, the South Sea was the true holy land of the Nantung divine region. Because of the existence of Avalokitesvara, countless people worshipped it. However, after thousands of years, Avalokitesvara had disappeared, causing the purple bamboo forest to become an ownerless land. By the way, Patriarch Mo, I have something to ask you. Jiang Chen said. Do you know that a monk has entered the South Sea? His Buddhist name is Tyrant. Jiang Chen looked at Mo Yundi curiously, hoping to get an answer. However, Mo Yundi shook his head. I have never heard of the monk tyrant you mentioned. But not long ago, there was a strange phenomenon in the purple bamboo forest at the South Sea. I don't know if it has anything to do with the monk tyrant you mentioned. Although it caused a great commotion, it disappeared very quickly. Therefore, it didn't cause too much of a commotion. It was said that the purple bamboo forest was filled with a myriad of lights, but nothing happened in the end. Mo Yundi said. I see. Jiang Chen nodded. He didn't know if it was the monk tyrant. He said that he would come to the Nantung divine region. Someone summoned him. No matter who it was, Jiang Chen had to find him. If he was dead, he had to see his corpse. However, the monk tyrant wouldn't die so easily. Good people don't live long, but scourges live for 1,000 years. This guy was a devil incarnate. Being a monk was just his side job. Not long after, numerous experts appeared at the edge of the South Sea. Mo Yundi's expression also turned solemn. 9 beams of red light soared into the sky and finally landed in this place. Every one of them was strong. There were dozens of half-step Emperor Realm experts. Jiang Chen's eyes were calm. Half-step Emperor Realm experts weren't a threat to him. However, he had to admit that the Nantung divine region was a land of outstanding people. He didn't expect so many experts to appear. The 10 strongest clans of the 100 schools of philosophers aside, just these half-step Emperor Realm experts were enough to make people's scalps go numb. Finally, everyone is here, Mo Yundi said in a deep voice. The corners of his mouth curled into a meaningful smile. He had been waiting for this moment for too long. His younger brother had been missing for so many years. Today, they finally had the chance to enter the purple bamboo forest. Moreover, the one who had the last laugh would be the ruler of the purple bamboo forest. Chapter 3763. Everyone, it's an exciting event for us to head to the South Sea together in front of Mo City. I, Mo Yundi, am honored to be one of the 10 great clans. Over the years, many experts from the 100 schools of philosophers have entered the South Sea, but I'm sure everyone is well aware of the outcome. None of our people have ever returned alive. I'm sure everyone has their own plans, even if you don't say it out loud. Today, we must ascend to the peak of the purple bamboo forest and see what exactly is causing trouble in the South Sea. After Venerable Avalokitesvara disappeared, the Nantung divine region has become more and more chaotic. I'm sure everyone already has a premonition of how many questions you have in your hearts. Since we've already made the final decision for this trip to the purple bamboo forest, I believe everyone here is well aware of it. The 100 schools of philosophers have been at war for millions of years, and this is an indisputable fact. Therefore, everyone is well aware of this trip to the purple bamboo forest. We must turn that place upside down and see what kind of existence it is that no good man from the Nantung divine region has dared to step into it for millions of years. Mo Yundi's words echoed everyone's thoughts. They were all eager to give it a try. Although it seemed like they were searching for their lost disciples, their real target was the purple bamboo forest. Since Venerable Avalokitesvara was no longer around, they had to fight for the ownership of the purple bamboo forest. With so many experts entering the purple bamboo forest at the same time, their efforts would definitely not be in vain. Every one of them had their own ulterior motives, but they understood very well that although they seemed to be united, they were actually doing things their own way. Among the 10 great clans, only the Confucian, Taoist, and Mo clans were the most powerful. These 3 clans were also the most secretive. Unless it was a crucial moment, no one would easily make a move. Patriarch Mo is right. We must prepare well for today's trip. After all, we've turned out in full force this time. Ha! The Confucian family head, Kong Zhongyun, said with a smile. Since they had already gathered here, they must have already made their preparations. No one would be willing to serve as a foil for someone else. After all, once the ownership of the purple bamboo forest was decided, it would be possible for the person to become the #1 clan of the 100 schools of philosophers and rule the world. It was not impossible. Brother Kong is right. There is no time to lose. We should also go and take a good look at the so-called purple bamboo forest and see if it has already become the 18 levels of purgatory that devours people's hearts. The head of the school of Taoism, Zhuang Qixing, said with an indifferent expression. These people were all in the emptiness emperor realm and were only a step away from the emperor realm. These influential figures were all full of confidence. The 100 schools of thought had gathered in Nantung. They were the true leaders. This time, they would definitely fight to the end before they were willing to give up. They had fought for countless years, but it had been difficult to determine the victor. However, whoever conquered the purple bamboo forest would be able to become the leader of the 100 schools of thought. Very well, then let's go. If he's alive, I want to see him. If he's dead, I want to see his corpse. My younger brother disappeared in the purple bamboo forest 2 million years ago. However, I don't know if he's alive or dead, or where he is now. Mo Yundi had a grim expression on his face. He had already made all the necessary preparations. The 100-man team was finally going to set off for the purple bamboo forest. Wait. As everyone was about to set off for the peak of the Southern Ocean, a cold voice interrupted them. Mo Yundi was slightly startled. Who would still want to cause trouble at this time? Head of the Mo clan, may I know who this brother is? A figure in a yellow robe appeared in a flash. It was the head of the School of Legalism, Fa Ingyuan. Fa Ingyuan had a head full of yellow hair, yellow eyebrows, and a long beard. He wore a cold grin on his face, as if he was being sarcastic. Mo Yundi squinted his eyes. How could he not know that Fa Ingyuan was obviously here to cause trouble? Head of the School of Legalism. Is there anything else you want to ask? Mo Yundi said. Is this person a member of your Mo clan? Why don't I have any impression of him? Fa Ingyuan pointed at Zhang Chen and asked in a deep voice. Do I need you to tell me if he's a member of my Mo clan or not? Don't tell me he's a spy from your School of Legalism in my Mo clan's team? Mo Yundi was obviously not someone who was easy to deal with. His words instantly made Fa Ingyuan speechless. A short-haired man took a step forward and stood behind Fa Ingyuan, saying in a low voice, Head, it's him. I can sense the aura of Tianqing from him. He must be the one who killed Fa Tianqing. I suspect that he's the one who killed Fa Tianqing, a disciple of the School of Legalism. Fa Ingyuan pointed at Zhang Chen and snapped. Mo Yundi frowned. Did Zhang Chen really kill Fa Tianqing of the School of Legalism? The matter seemed to be a little tricky. However, before Mo Yundi could say anything, Zhang Chen said straightforwardly, There's no need to doubt it. I killed him, which means he deserved to die. Since I killed him, it means he deserved to die. Zhang Chen's imperious attitude caused everyone to hold their breaths. Wasn't this guy a little too full of himself? Even the Mo clan would not dare to be so arrogant. Although the School of Legalism was not as powerful as the Confucian, Taoist, and Mo clans, they were still quite terrifying. Although Fa Tianqing of the School of Legalism was not a top genius, he was Fa Ingyuan's grandson. It would not be easy to settle the matter. Say that again? Fa Ingyuan's eyes were as cold as frost, and his body trembled. He did not expect Zhang Chen to be so arrogant and say that he was the one who killed Fa Tianqing. This was simply looking down on the School of Legalism. Are you deaf, or are all of you from the School of Legalism deaf? Jiang Chen said coldly. His words caused 1,000 ripples. Everyone at the edge of the South China Sea was watching this scene silently. Jiang Chen was not only looking down on the school of legalism, he was looking down on the entire world. Everyone present felt a little suffocated. However, it was undeniable that this man was too arrogant. Some people could not help but think that this guy was only so arrogant because he had the support of the school of legalism. You're simply a bastard. Where do you think the school of legalism is? Fa Yingyuan pointed at Jiang Chen. His hands were trembling, and his face was green with anger. If it were not for the fact that so many people were watching the show, he would have made a move long ago to kill this guy and avenge his grandson. However, he had to endure it now. He had to make the school of legalism give him an explanation. Mo Yundi, tell me, what do you want to do? A life for a life, a debt for a debt. It's only right and proper. Do you still need me to teach you more? Fa Yingyuan said in an aggressive manner. Facing Jiang Chen and Mo Yundi alone, he was not afraid at all. First of all, he is not a member of the school of legalism, so I can't control him. Furthermore, if you dare to touch him, the school of legalism will definitely come out and fight you to the death. Chapter 3764. Mo Yundi. Is this the style of the Mo clan? Since you're so lax in your discipline, it seems that I need to restrain your subordinates for you. Fa Yingyuan didn't believe that Mo Yundi would completely fall out with him for Jiang Chen. If they were to really fight, the legalists would definitely not be able to gain any advantage. Moreover, this was the Mo clan's territory. Even the Confucians and Taoists might not choose to start a war with the Mo clan here. Obviously, this was not a wise choice. You're not worthy, Mo Yundi said in a deep voice. He was at loggerheads with Fa Yingyuan. Everyone around them was silently watching this scene. It seems that the Mo clan and the legalists have a grudge. It's hard to say. The Mo clan is not to be trifled with. Although the legalists aren't weak, fighting with the Mo clan in the Mo clan's territory is tantamount to courting death. That's right. However, Fa Tiancheng is the legitimate grandson of the legalist clan's leader. The legalists will definitely not let this matter go. Now, let's see who is more unyielding. I'm very curious. Who is this person? Why is he making the Mo clan so nervous that they are willing to use all the power of the clan for him? Many people had the attitude that it was none of their business. If the Mo clan and the Mo clan were to really fight, they would definitely be happy to see it. Before leaving the South Sea, they could first divide the world into 3 parts. For the Confucians and Taoists this was a good thing. If he's killed, then he's killed. What's there to be surprised about? Since ancient times, the legalists have always followed the true law. Since Fa Tiancheng killed and robbed people, there's nothing he wouldn't do. So what if I killed him? Isn't it right to enforce justice on behalf of the heavens? I, Jiang Chen, have never killed innocent people. I only kill those who deserve to be killed, including the old, the weak, women, and children. Jiang Chen immediately raised his blade. In an instant, everyone focused their attention on Jiang Chen, except for Mo Yundi. The Mo clan members all had a proud look on their faces. Only they knew Jiang Chen's identity. What the fuck? Is this for real? Is this guy really Jiang Chen? How is that possible? Jiang Chen is the strongest genius in the Central Plains Divine Land. His reputation has already soared and no one in the entire Central Plains can do anything to him. If this guy is really Jiang Chen, I'm afraid there will be a good show today. Ha! Jiang Chen's name was well known. Fa Yuan's face was gloomy. If he was the same Jiang Chen from the Central Region Divine Land, then today's matter would become much more complicated. You mean you're Jiang Chen? The Jiang Chen of the Central Plains. Fa Yingyuan took a deep breath. The legalists also kept quiet out of fear. Jiang Chen was someone who made the Mountain and Sea sect and the Baji sect submit to him. He was someone that even the Martial Dan Hall and the Slaughter Pagoda did not dare to offend. Jiang Chen's strength had already been rumored to be miraculous. He had even escaped from an Emperor Realm expert and defeated an Emperor Realm expert. But since there were such rumors, it meant that Jiang Chen's name had indeed shaken the Central Plains. However, whether it was true or not, it was hard to guess. So what if I am, so what if I'm not? Today you should have seen the relationship between me and the Mo clan. Without the Mo clan, You're just a pile of dog shit in my eyes. If you're not convinced, then come at me. When have I, Jiang Chen, ever been afraid of anyone? As soon as Jiang Chen's words fell, the legalists became hesitant. Fa Yingyuan was the same. They did not expect the person who killed Fa Tiancheng to be so united. Jiang Chen of the Central Plains. No wonder the Mo clan wanted to protect Jiang Chen at all costs. It was obvious how terrifying this person's strength was. Kong Zhongyun and Zhuang Qixing looked at each other. Everyone present was shocked. The appearance of Jiang Chen would definitely make the Mo clan even more powerful. It seemed that today's matter would not end peacefully. Good. Since that's the case, I'll give face to the Mo clan head and the other clan heads. If you can take 3 of my palm strikes, then I'll forget about today's matter. How about it? If you can't take 3 of my punches, I won't pursue the matter any further. Life or death is up to fate. Success or failure is up to the heavens. Do you dare to take the gamble? Fa Yingyuan said coldly. If you lose, get out of my sight. Jiang Chen said. A gentleman keeps his word. We of the legalists have always been true to our words, and the experts here are our witnesses. Kid, take this. Fa Yingyuan yelled in a deep voice. He charged forward and lashed out with a palm strike that was accompanied by wind and thunder. Shen-Tian seal. Jiang Chen's eyes turned cold as he lashed out a seal, colliding with Fa Yingyuan's attack. In the next second, Fa Yingyuan was knocked 10 steps back with a pale face, while Jiang Chen did not move at all. Clan head. The members of the legalists were terrified. Seeing Fa Yingyuan being knocked back, they all went forward to help him up. Humph. Fa Yingyuan harumphed coldly and waved his sleeves. His heart was in turmoil, which was more complicated than the waves on the surface of the sea. This fellow was simply a freak. Their strength was almost the same, but he managed to heavily injure Fa Yingyuan with a single palm strike. This was unbelievable. In fact, Fa Yingyuan could not even unleash a second palm strike because he was already severely injured. If he forcefully used the divine power in his body, he would definitely suffer a great loss. 2 more palm strikes. Clan head Fa, continue, Mo Yundi said with a smile. Anyone with a discerning eye could see that Fa Yingyuan had lost terribly. Although Jiang Chen seemed to be at ease, the earth-shattering seal that the two exchanged just now had given everyone a warning. Jiang Chen was definitely not someone to be trifled with. Let's forget about today's matter. The legalists admit defeat and will never mention it again. Fa Yingyuan swallowed the humiliation in front of the 10 clans. Although he was unwilling to admit it, if even he was not a match for Jiang Chen, then it was even more impossible for the clansmen behind him to defeat him. This bastard was able to establish such a great reputation in the Central Plains. It seemed like he was not just for show. He was a peerless, ruthless person. The legalists must be careful of him in the future. Fa Yingyuan did not even have the courage to unleash a second palm strike, which made these people even more respectful of Jiang Chen. The Mo clan was lucky, and Mo Yundi was also very smart. Jiang Chen's name had shaken the Central Plains, and now he had arranged the entire Nantung Divine Prefecture clearly. The Mo clan was the biggest winner. Good. Since the head of the legalists is so straightforward, then we are not the kind of people who will not forgive others. Let's forget about today's matter. Brother Jiang Chen will definitely not hold a grudge against us. He will not take the matters of the legalists to heart. Mo Yundi's praise made Jiang Chen's status rise. If it was not for his face, he would have already said that even he was not a match for Jiang Chen. Even so, the legalists had completely behaved themselves and did not dare to complain. Chapter 3765. The azure sea and blue sky stretched as far as the eye could see. White gulls fell like rain, and the sky was dotted with stars. The surrounding sky was filled with clouds. At the summit of the southern sea, wild waves rolled, and the wind blew. Jiang Chen walked on the waves, standing at the front. Even the Mo family's patriarch, Mo Yundi, was extremely respectful towards Jiang Chen. Kong Zhongyun and Zhuang Qixing did not dare to be negligent. The other 7 families also followed behind him. After all, the situation was worse than the person. Jiang Chen's name was well known throughout the divine world. Fa Yingyuan was defeated by a single palm strike, which showed how fierce he was. No one dared to continue challenging him. On the surface of the sea, the waves surged, just like the hearts of these people. Jiang Chen was like a mountain in their hearts. Jiang Chen, who was carrying the crystal coffin, was even more evil, so they could not help but be on guard against Jiang Chen. However, as a member of the Mo family, it was not good for others to say anything. Jiang Chen's existence had undoubtedly shrouded everyone's hearts with a thick layer of haze. Of course, the Mo family was an exception. With Jiang Chen's help, Mo Yundi was like a tiger that had grown wings. He was full of confidence. When the crescent moon formed, an island appeared on the southern sea. On the island, purple light flickered, reflecting the light of the sun. It was so dazzling that people could not open their eyes. The island was bottle-shaped, thousands of miles long. However, on the vast and boundless sea, it was just a drop in the ocean. Purple bamboos could be seen all over the island. The bamboos were all over the island. Some were even hundreds of meters tall. Such purple bamboos were really amazing. At the summit of the southern sea, stars surrounded it. The purple bamboo forest was the place where the spiritual energy was the densest. We're here. We're finally at the summit of the southern sea. Huh. Yeah, we can finally go and take a look at Avalokitesvara's place. Avalokitesvara no longer exists. The purple bamboo forest is now an ownerless place. We naturally cannot waste it. I would like to see if this mysterious place is truly as evil as the legends say. More and more people started to step into the purple bamboo forest. However, Jiang Chen discovered that this purple bamboo forest was filled with spiritual aura. Divine origins surged, as if it was overflowing. However, this purple bamboo forest was filled with peace. It wasn't as unbearable as those people said. They said that as long as one entered the 9 levels of purgatory, it would be impossible to return. Looks like this place is different from the rumors. Jiang Chen murmured. However, this peaceful purple bamboo forest made him feel that this place was not as simple as it seemed. No matter what, I must find Avalokitesvara. Even if I can't find him, I must cultivate here and wake little you up. Jiang Chen's mind was solemn and firm. This is not a good place. I can feel an unusual aura. Jiang Chen, you must be careful. The ancestral Dragon Emperor's voice rang in Jiang Chen's ears. Jiang Chen nodded silently. If the ancestral Dragon Emperor could feel something unusual, it meant that this was not a good place. Even if it looked peaceful, there might be something behind it. This purple bamboo forest does not appear to be anything special. I wonder what kind of existences are inside. Kong Zhongyun said in a low voice. He was extremely cautious. As the patriarch of the Kong clan, he would not be so reckless. There seems to be a layer of light covering this place. It looks like a formation, but there's something strange about it. Mo Yundi frowned and said. This purple bamboo forest made them all extremely cautious. They were afraid that there might be a trap. After all, no one had managed to walk out of this place for thousands of years. Let's go and have a look. There seems to be a group of palaces there. Someone suggested. At this moment, in the outer region of the purple bamboo forest, there was indeed a group of ancient palaces. The ancient palaces were filled with an ancient fragrance. There were countless incense burners and divine statues everywhere. However, those ancient palaces had already been completely destroyed. The walls were peeling, the ancient palaces had collapsed, and the incense burners were scattered all over the place. All of these made people's imagination run wild. Seems like this place has changed. It's no longer the purple bamboo forest that was full of incense. Even the dojo of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva has become a mess and is in a very dilapidated state. You're right. Seems like this place has been abandoned for more than 1,000 years. I can't help but sigh. Avalokitesvara is no longer here. That's why the purple bamboo forest is no longer as prosperous as it used to be. However, I wonder what happened to the deepest part of the purple bamboo forest. I heard that the dojo in the outer area was used to worship Avalokitesvara. The real dojo is in the deepest part of the purple bamboo forest. Let's go and have a look. The group of people didn't stay too long in the outer area of the purple bamboo forest because there was nothing useful in the dojo. Moreover, it was already ruined. It was useless to stay here. Therefore, they started to move deeper into the forest. Jiang Chen, on the other hand, chose to stop at this moment. Standing on the dilapidated dojo, he felt an unexpected sense of peace and shock in his heart. It was as if his mind had been calmed by someone after going through a great storm. Brother Jiang Chen, what's wrong? Mo Yundi looked at Jiang Chen, who had a wooden expression on his face, in surprise. It's nothing. You go first. I'll be there soon. I want to have a look at this ruined dojo. Jiang Chen said. Mo Yundi didn't try to persuade him to stay. He believed that Jiang Chen would catch up. He also had to follow the group. Otherwise, God knows if he would disappear from the purple bamboo forest forever like his brother. Or if there was a great treasure ahead, he would miss it perfectly. Then I'll go first. Brother Jiang Chen. Be careful. Mo Yundi followed closely behind him. Jiang Chen was the only one left in the dilapidated training hall. Jiang Chen stood on the ancient palace. At that moment, countless deafening sounds were transmitted into his mind. Jiang Chen felt an extremely terrifying deterrent force, as if it was going to devour him. Jiang Chen frowned and closed his eyes in concentration. He sensed the peace around him. However, there were too many terrifying and deafening sounds of thunder in this peace. They seemed to want to devour Jiang Chen's heart. He felt a piercing pain in his ears. Even his Emperor Venerable Realm soul couldn't resist this external impact. The thunderous roar shook Jiang Chen's heart and mind. No matter how hard he covered his ears or tried to resist it with his soul, it was all to no avail. The excruciating pain tore at the depths of Jiang Chen's soul. Damn it! What is this? Chapter 3766. 9 Heavens Echoing Thunder Sovereign. Jiang Chen roared. The god of thunder finally appeared and activated the 5 lightning decree, finally suppressing the terrifying sound of thunder and lightning. Jiang Chen's face was pale. The sound was too terrifying. Where did it come from? Jiang Chen had no idea. It's him, it's really him. The god of thunder said in a deep voice, his face pale. The young god of thunder looked nervous and frightened. Who is it? Jiang Chen said in a deep voice. It doesn't matter who it is. Leave this place quickly. No one can leave this place alive. Before you enter the purple bamboo forest, leave quickly. The god of thunder said in fear. He was extremely nervous. However, no matter how Jiang Chen asked, the god of thunder did not answer him. If that's the case, then I want to see who is causing trouble in the purple bamboo forest. Jiang Chen gritted his teeth. He did not believe that there was someone who could cover the sky with one hand. Sigh. The god of thunder sighed. He could not dissuade Jiang Chen, but his heart was extremely depressed. Even if you don't tell me who it is, I will find it myself. Jiang Chen vowed and sat down cross-legged again. The wind blew and the sound of thunder disappeared without a trace. At that moment, Jiang Chen looked up and saw the statue of Avalokitesvara. On the statue, brilliance was flowing, and it seemed to make Jiang Chen feel enlightened. Jiang Chen only felt that his mind was clear and his soul was enlightened. His soul realm rose again at this moment. Feeling the unparalleled spirit of the Avalokitesvara, Jiang Chen's soul strength broke through to the Emperor realm. At that moment, Jiang Chen felt that the entire purple bamboo forest was under his control. It was simply too wonderful. 9th grade Emperor realm Heavenly King bestowment. Divine transformation with a thought. Right now, Jiang Chen's soul had already reached the Heavenly King realm. He could even completely control Emperor realm experts. The terror of such a soul was simply too tyrannical. It was even more unstoppable compared to Emperor realm experts. Congratulations! Thunder God and Ancestral Dragon Emperor were extremely shocked. They didn't expect Jiang Chen to actually break through to the Heavenly King realm under such great pressure. It was simply shocking. An expert who had yet to reach the Emperor realm actually had such a high soul realm. What kind of talent was this? What kind of fortune was this? Rumble. At this moment, Jiang Chen saw the statue of Avalokitesvara not far from him suddenly collapse and turn into dust. The atmosphere in the bamboo forest seemed to become more austere and gloomier. The god of thunder didn't tell Jiang Chen what kind of existence was in the purple bamboo forest. He wanted him to retreat, but with Jiang Chen's character, it was absolutely impossible for him to do that. Asking him to retreat was tantamount to killing him. Knowing that there was a tiger in the mountain, he still went ahead. This was Jiang Chen's indomitable character. No one could stop him from moving forward. Avalokitesvara, are you still in this world? Perhaps only you can save Xiao Yu's situation. Jiang Chen murmured. At this moment, his soul realm had broken through to the Heavenly King realm. Jiang Chen felt unprecedentedly carefree. But he was also filled with disappointment. The fall of Avalokitesvara's statue wasn't a good thing for Jiang Chen. If it wasn't for the statue, Jiang Chen wouldn't have been able to break through so quickly. Jiang Chen calmed himself down and continued to head deeper into the purple bamboo forest. He followed the group because he felt that the purple bamboo forest wasn't that simple. The God of Thunder's words had explained everything. There must be something wrong in the purple bamboo forest. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so afraid. The sun was shining brightly, and the spring scenery was perfect. Bamboo shoots were constantly gushing out from the purple bamboo forest. Flowers bloomed all year round, each blooming beautifully. In the depths of the purple bamboo forest, a jade stream was flowing. The stream water was incomparably clear, so clear that there wasn't even a single fish swimming in it. In the surrounding bamboo forest, there was a podium. On the podium, there was a lotus platform. On top of the platform, there was a snow-white lotus that seemed to carry an endless Buddhist charm. It seemed to take the world as its responsibility, and it gave off an aura of sacrifice that made people feel deeply comfortable. However, in front of the lotus platform, there were hundreds of people. They sat in front of the lotus platform and silently gazed at the blooming white lotus. It was pure and untainted, pure and clean, yet not demonic. It was a graceful and pure plant. The white lotus contained an endless Buddhist charm that caused one's heart to feel relaxed and happy. It even contained an indescribable holy aura, causing those who sat before the white lotus to be unable to resist. It was as if they were listening to teachings, and they sat there in deep contemplation without any change in their expressions. In the distance, Mo Yundi, Kong Chongyun and the others slowly walked over. There was a look of surprise in their eyes. Among these hundreds of people, there were disciples that they were proud of. There were also people that were close to them, and there were even some super strong cultivators that were once famous. Isn't that Xueqi who dominated the divine land of Nantung 3 million years ago? Yeah, back then, Xueqi could be said to be the most outstanding genius of the school of martial arts. But in the end, after entering the purple bamboo forest, he disappeared without a trace. I didn't expect that he was still alive. This is truly inconceivable. Yeah, it's really shocking. Isn't that Mo Yunchi from the Mo clan? Mo Yundi's younger brother. He's still alive. Zhuang Su from the Great Path of Heaven 8 million years ago. Back then, he comprehended the strongest mental cultivation method of the Taoist school, the Great Path of Heaven. Now it seems that he's also here. It's really something to be excited about. Ha ha ha, it's really a great fortune. These peerless experts are still alive. Looks like our Nantung divine land is really a gathering of heroes. Countless people were extremely excited because these insufferably arrogant geniuses all had the same dream, and that was to enter the purple bamboo forest to investigate. However, no one was able to leave this place alive, so this place became the death zone in their mouths. From the looks of it, not only were these people not dead, they were also quite strong. Just in terms of monarch realm experts, there were as many as 5 of them. Mo Yundi was very excited. His younger brother Mo Yunchi was really still alive. It was like a dream. Yunchi! Mo Yundi exclaimed, instantly igniting the whole crowd. The whole square of the bamboo forest was filled with great echoes. Big brother! Mo Yunchi frowned. His eyes were extremely complicated. He seemed to be hesitating, but he was also full of joy. Chapter 3767. Second Brother. Mo Yundi was very excited. He never thought that he would be able to reunite with his own younger brother in his lifetime. Even though he was the head of a clan, he couldn't help but feel tears welling up in his eyes. If there weren't so many people here, he would have hugged his brother and cried tears of joy. How many years has it been? Why didn't you go home? Mo Yundi said in a low voice, blaming his brother. However, when he saw his brother, he couldn't help but want to reminisce with him. The feeling of blood being thicker than water made him excited. School of Vertical and Horizontal's Zhuge Langya pays his respect to old ancestor Zhuge Jin. The people of the School of Vertical and Horizontal knelt on the ground and looked at Zhuge Jin with reverence. Zhuge Jin's expression was cold as he looked at Zhuge Langya and the other juniors of the Zhuge clan. His voice was extremely solemn. All of you step back. Following Zhuge Jin's shout, everyone felt as if they were sitting on a bed of needles. They never thought that Zhuge Jin's temper would be so bad and unreasonable. Big brother, it's not good to stay here. You guys should leave first. If you can feel Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara's teachings, you can stay here and listen. If you can't feel it, you should leave quickly. We are listening to Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara's teachings. I can't chat with you for too long. Mo Yunchi said in a low voice, which made Mo Yundi very surprised. There were hundreds of experts sitting here, and most of them were half-step Emperor Realm experts. There were even a few Emperor Realm experts. Mo Yundi was an Emperor Realm expert at this moment. Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara's teachings? Why can't I hear it? Mo Yundi was slightly shocked. Kong Zhongyun, Zhuang Qixing and the others who were not far from him were also puzzled. They also couldn't feel Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara's teachings. Second brother, you have reached the Emperor Realm? Mo Yundi took a deep breath and said sternly. When he first entered the purple bamboo forest, he was only at the peak divine Emperor Realm. Mo Yundi didn't expect that he had already broken through to the Emperor Realm at this moment. That's right. It's because of Avalokitesvara's teachings that I was able to break through to the Emperor Realm. Big brother, you guys should leave quickly. If you can't understand Avalokitesvara's teachings, it only means that your comprehension isn't good enough. Mo Yunchi's words left Mo Yundi speechless. He forced a smile, but he really didn't sense Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara's teachings. Silence! Zhuang Su shouted. Countless people held their breaths. As one of the top figures amongst the 100 experts, no one dared to question Zhuang Su's voice. The dignity of an emperor expert could not be violated. Furthermore, as Mo Yunchi had said, Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara was currently preaching, so he naturally could not be disturbed. All right. Mo Yundi didn't dare to continue speaking. Perhaps it was really because his comprehension was not good enough that they couldn't feel the teachings of Bodhisattva. In the end, Mo Yundi, Zhuang Qixing, and Kong Zhongyun brought their people and slowly retreated. Their eyes were filled with reverence. Nothing else mattered. Zhuang Su, Mo Yunchi, Zhuge Jin, and Kong Yun had all reached the Emperor Realm. They really couldn't be underestimated. In the face of absolute strength, Mo Yundi and the others could only retreat, not daring to act rashly. It seems that I finally know why none of them are willing to leave this place. It's because they can listen to Bodhisattva's teachings. Their strength is improving day by day. Who would be willing to leave and give up the opportunity to become a peerless expert? If it was me, I would also not leave. Kong Zhongfei said with a serious face. His words received the approval of everyone. No matter what, they had already found the reason. However, these hundreds of people paled in comparison to the number of people that had disappeared in the purple bamboo forest. After all, the weak were prey to the strong, and it was natural selection. It was understandable that some people had died in this place. I wonder if we will have the chance to stay here and listen to Bodhisattva's teachings. Zhuge Langyas silently looked at the Lotus Dao platform in the distance. He was very happy. He hated himself for not coming here earlier. Now that there were already several Emperor Realm experts, it could be seen how profound Bodhisattva's teachings were. They were completely immersed in it, unable to extricate themselves. It's not too late to mend the pen after the sheep are lost. It's a great fortune for us to come here today. Ha! Zhuang Qixing laughed heartily. He felt very comforted in his heart. He had already prepared everything. Although he was a member of the Taoist school, different paths led to the same destination. If he could listen to the teachings of Avalokitesvara, he would very likely become a true Emperor Realm expert, a supreme existence that countless people chased after. However, even Zhuge Jin, Mo Yunchi and the others didn't have the slightest bit of arrogance. Even though they were Emperor Realm experts, they still silently sensed the nature of Tao, the legend of heavenly Tao reincarnation. Avalokitesvara was the most powerful bodhisattva in the Buddha world. Even the Gautama Buddha in the past admired Avalokitesvara, saying that he was unparalleled in the world. We need to guard our hearts with a pious heart. Whether or not we can listen to the teachings of Bodhisattva Amitabha will depend on our own comprehension. Mo Yundi took a deep breath, held his breath, and closed his eyes to rest. He began to feel the changes in heaven and earth. Whether they could listen to the preaching of Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara would depend on their abilities and luck. Everyone focused their attention on the so-called Lotus Dao platform. In the end, they gradually closed their eyes, sensing the changes in the world. Time flew by in the blink of an eye. Between dusk and sunset, the sun set in the west, sinking into the other side of the sea. At this moment, the curtain of night quietly descended. At this moment, in the bamboo forest, gusts of cold wind blew, whistling past. Even the Lotus Dao platform gradually withered. The white lotus turned into a withered branch, its leaves fell, and it withered completely. The moon was dark and the wind was strong. The sky was clear and the surrounding thunder gradually resounded. The entire sky above the void became incomparably quiet. Jiang Chen. Mo Yunqi suddenly opened his eyes. At this moment, his eyes were bloodshot, filled with dense killing intent. He was like a completely different person compared to him in the daytime. Not only Mo Yunqi, Zhuang Su, Zhu Gejin, Kong Yun and the others, the many Emperor Realm experts, as well as the hundreds of half-step Emperor Realm experts behind them, all opened their eyes in an instant. An endless haze that shrouded the void gradually began to wreak havoc. Chapter 3768. How could this be? Why did the weather suddenly change? It's so gloomy. Why is it like this? Isn't this place supposed to be peaceful? Why did it become so gloomy all of a sudden? Rumbling thunder and gusts of cold wind. It seems like the purple bamboo forest is not a good place. Holy shit. Look, those people are all standing up and charging towards us. No one knew who shouted, but Mo Yundi and the others immediately became serious. What's going on? Yunqi. Mo Yundi immediately thought of his second brother, Mo Yunqi. It was at this moment that Mo Yunqi had already closed in on them. The blood-red color in his eyes made Mo Yundi feel that something was wrong. Watch out! Following his shout, the entire sky turned scarlet, like a huge net that covered the sky and enveloped them. Hundreds of experts, led by several Emperor Realm experts, charged towards Mo Yundi and the others. Their killing intent soared to the sky. Although Mo Yundi was already prepared, because he had already sensed that the bloodshot light in his brother's eyes was not simple, he was still battered by his brother at this moment. After all, the might of an Emperor Realm expert was unparalleled. Kong Yun of the Confucian school, Zhuang Su of the Taoist school, Mo Yunqi of the Mahist school, Zhu Gejin of the school of vertical and horizontal, and He Qi of the military school all soared into the sky with unstoppable momentum. The experts of the 10 great clans were also suffocating, because these people were too strong, so strong that they could not fight against them. Retreat! Run! Kong Chongyun shouted angrily, his face pale. In the blink of an eye, the 3-peaked divine emperor experts of the Kong clan were torn to pieces, blood dripping from their bodies. It was an extremely tragic scene. How could this be? How could this be? How could this be? Some of them were so scared that their faces turned deathly pale. Their bodies trembled uncontrollably. During the day, everything was peaceful and tranquil. However, at this moment, a black wind started to blow. The experts in the entire purple bamboo forest turned pale. They only knew how to kill. The difference in strength between the experts of the 10 families and the experts of the purple bamboo forest was huge. Although there were half-step Emperor Realm experts among them, under the leadership of Kong Yun and the others, the experts of the purple bamboo forest had no way of dealing with them. They could only flee in panic. Some of them were even killed in the process of fleeing. The scene was so chaotic and tragic that even Mo Yundi was in a panic. Who would have thought that they, who had been so peaceful in the daytime, would be like wearing the masks of killers at this time, killing innocents indiscriminately and creating a mess. In the purple bamboo forest, it rained continuously and thunder rumbled. The surrounding sky seemed like it was going to collapse completely. The scene was too tragic. In a blink of an eye, a third of the experts were killed by Mo Yunqi and the others. Although the scene was washed with blood, it still formed a river of blood. The scene was so tragic that people could not bear to look at it. However, Mo Yundi and the others were still in a daze. Old ancestor, don't kill me, don't kill me. Yunqi, what are you doing? How did you become like this? Old ancestor, I don't want to die. More and more people started to cry. Even though they were divine emperor experts, they were not gods. They also had their own senses. Fear, life and death were very important in their eyes. Because, how could it be easy for them to reach their current level of cultivation? It was undeniable that no one could reach their current level without putting in any effort. Their strength was outstanding and they stood at the peak of their family. However, they were so vulnerable in front of a true emperor expert. Kong Zhongfei, Mo Yundi, and the others retreated one after another. The number of casualties was also increasing. The situation was completely out of their control. Even if they wanted to leave, they couldn't. Apart from the endless purple bamboo forest, they couldn't find any borders. This place was like an unparalleled maze. It was impossible to find the real exit, and it was difficult to find the entrance. Damn it, we've been tricked. Those people might not even be our relatives. Mo Yundi roared angrily. His every move was ruthless and powerful, but he was still suppressed by several Emperor Realm experts to the point where he could not even lift his head. In front of Emperor Realm experts, an empty Emperor Realm expert did not have the slightest ability to fight back. At this moment, Mo Yundi and the others were filled with despair. Jiang Chen. Where was Jiang Chen? Even if he was here, he might not be able to turn the situation around, right? Those were several Emperor experts. They were invincible and they could not compete with them at all. The storm and thunder roared. Murderous intent in the rainy night. In the dark night, a scarlet curtain of rain rose to the sky. Buddha's radiance. Rays of golden light surged out. A golden figure struck out. Light and shadow filled the air. Divine light shone brightly and Buddha's aura lingered in the air. More than 10 half-step Emperor experts were forced to retreat. Dressed in coarse hemp clothes, his face was as cold as frost. It was none other than the invincible tyrant. His current strength had reached the half-step Emperor realm. He was no different from Jiang Chen. With a single palm strike, he forced more than 10 half-step Emperor experts back. His strength was shocking. Heavenly Luo divine voice. A loud roar followed closely behind Tyrant. A terrifying shockwave knocked down dozens of half-step Emperor realm experts. Compared to Tyrant, this person's strength had already reached the Emperor realm. Even Avalokitesvara is no match for me. How big of a storm do you two think you can stir up? Ha! Kong Yun roared. The wind from his palm was like thunder, stirring up turbulent waves. The curtain of rain was cut off and the wind stopped. The green-robed young man acted as if he was facing a great enemy. He formed a seal with both hands and blocked Kong Yun's attack. Both of them were sent flying back with gloomy expressions. As long as I'm alive, the purple bamboo forest will be under my protection. No one will be able to behave atrociously in this pure land. The green-robed young man stood with his hands behind his back. His eyes were cold as he looked at Kong Yun and the others. So what if you're an Emperor expert? Your father want to have a taste of what an Emperor expert can do. Tyrant sneered. He did not put Kong Yun in his eyes at all. The eyes of Mo Yundi and the others lit up. They took a deep breath. They did not expect that they would have reinforcements in the purple bamboo forest. Although they did not know these two people, they were enemies of Kong Yun and the others. It seemed like they could be saved. I should have killed the two of you long ago. But you're so good at running away. If I let you escape today, I might not be able to stay here anymore. Chapter 3769. Tyrant's expression was solemn. When he first came to the purple bamboo forest, he had already seen this scene. He finally knew the reason why the green-robed man had summoned him here. It was to slay the demons and restore the purple bamboo forest. As the last pure land in Nantung, or even the entire divine world, it was now shrouded by endless demon chi. To them, this was simply a humiliation. Although Avalokitesvara was no longer around, they could not lower their heads. They swore to protect this pure land with their lives. From the moment Tyrant entered this place, he had already disregarded life and death. This was because he knew that this was the last pure land of the divine world, and he absolutely could not allow it to be tarnished. Otherwise, the entire divine world would be plunged into darkness. This wasn't just a place of faith, it was also a belief that existed in one's heart. Let's see how strong you are. This isn't a place that you should have come to. The green-robed man said in a deep voice. He pointed at Mo Yunchi and the others, his battle intent surging. Reckless fellas. When Avalokitesvara was still around, I wasn't afraid, let alone you little shrimps. Ha! Kong Yun laughed heartily. He was extremely arrogant and overbearing. Let's see who will have the last laugh, Tyrant said with a smile. Since he had thrown himself into this place, he had no complaints. Even if he died, he would never regret it. The purple bamboo forest was a place that filled him with memories. However, Tyrant couldn't remember where he had seen it before. However, as a Buddhist, Tyrant admired the might and dignity of Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara. Therefore, he vowed to protect this place with his life. This was a kind of faith, one that would never change even in death. Reckless fellas. In that case, I'll let the two of you go to hell. Xueqi sneered, and the 5 great Emperor realm experts attacked in an instant, closing in on Tyrant and Monk. The scene instantly became extremely explosive. Mo Yundi, Kong Zhongyun and the others also felt a lot more relaxed. They started to fight back crazily. They are completely under someone's control. We can't just sit here and wait for death. Although they are still alive, their souls are long dead. Mo Yundi wielded his divine weapon, exuding killing intent, as though he was going to kill his family in the name of righteousness. Because they already had no other choice. If they lost, they would very likely lose everything, and the 100 schools of philosophers would cease to exist. Without the 10 great clans, the entire Nantung divine prefecture would be like a plate of loose sand, and chaos would erupt everywhere. Zhuge Langjie, Zhuang Yunsheng and the others also felt Mo Yundi's words. At this time, no one could stay out of it. If they wanted to leave this place and defeat them, they could only fight back. This was their last hope. At the same time, the 2 top experts joined the fray. The attack of Tyrant and the green-robed man gave Mo Yundi and the others a glimmer of hope. How could they remain indifferent when these 2 people were attacking with their lives on the line? As the 10 great clans fought back, the assassins led by Kong Yun also became hesitant. After all, the strength of the green-robed man and Tyrant had almost completely blocked the 5 Emperor realm experts. Although their situation was worrying, they had bought enough time and opportunities for Mo Yundi and the others. Tyrant was fighting 1 against 2. Moreover, he was only in the half-step Emperor realm. Facing 2 Emperor realm experts, he was obviously exhausted. Under the joint attack of Kong Yun and Xueqi, Tyrant was forced to retreat. Fortunately, he was able to stabilize the situation and didn't die immediately. Facing 2 Emperor realm experts, this battle was the most difficult one for Tyrant. On the other side, the green-robed man couldn't afford to lose either. Although he was already an Emperor realm expert, facing the pursuit of Mo Yunchi and the others, he had no other choice. Heavenly Luo divine voice. The green-robed man's hand seals were like rainbows as he struck out. However, the 3 Emperor realm experts weren't weak either. As the geniuses of the 100 schools of philosophers, even if their minds were controlled, their battle prowess was still unstoppable. Brush for the toil. Kong Yun held the autumn hairbrush tightly in one hand and swept it across the sky, sealing the void. The green-robed man couldn't move an inch and was forced to retreat with every move. 3,000 Dao techniques. Zhuang Su struck out with his palm. His Dharma was boundless and his Dharma was like the sky, causing the green-robed man to be in an even more miserable state. His face turned green and his back was drenched in sweat. Eat my halberd. The military ancestor held the divine halberd in his hand and slashed across the sky. The green-robed man's face turned cold and he almost fell from the void. Every attack of an Emperor realm expert was filled with the Dharma of the heavens and earth. Their chi was long and their might was unstoppable. The green-robed man's expression turned ugly when the 3 experts attacked together. If this continues, we won't be able to last more than the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. Tyrant gritted his teeth. He had never been in such a dangerous situation before. The 2 Emperor realm experts were suppressing him to the point where he couldn't even retaliate. Especially in the middle of the night, where the wind and rain intertwined and lightning flashed, they became even more ferocious. Between him and the green-robed man, there was no way for him to block the hot-bloodedness of Kong Yun and the others. During the day, they could still remain calm under the influence of the boundless Buddhist aura in the purple bamboo forest. However, once night fell and the wind and rain intertwined, the terrifying being would completely devour Kong Yun and the others' minds. Their souls would be completely under his control, turning them into the most powerful puppets. Tyrant's anger rose, but his situation was becoming more and more worrying. 10,000 Buddhas paying tribute. Tyrant's hand seals covered the sky. With his full strength, he finally managed to gain a firm foothold. Kong Yun and Xueqi seemed to be advancing by retreating. They weren't in a hurry to achieve success. Instead, they were gradually disintegrating their strength. Only by doing so could they split them up step by step and obtain the final victory. Tyrant's Buddha seal reached the sky and his golden body was unparalleled under the heavens. Even the green-robed man beside him was extremely shocked. He didn't expect Tyrant to have such great power. It was truly shocking. This was definitely the strongest genius of the Buddhist sect he had ever seen. Chapter 3770. The Tao Reserve Lotus Platform. Go. The azure-robed man held the Tao Reserve Lotus Platform in his hand, and it was extremely terrifying and comparable to a peerless divine weapon. It was a peerless secret treasure that the Bodhisattva had once bestowed upon him, and it was one of the best treasures even in the Buddhist sect. The clear light lotus platform was the treasure of Avalokitesvara, and the Tao accumulation lotus platform was a divine treasure refined by Avalokitesvara, so how could it be ordinary? As soon as the Tao Reserve Lotus platform appeared, it instantly caused the expressions of Xueqi and the others to become extremely serious, and they retreated in order to advance as they seemed to be unwilling to collide with the Tao Reserve Lotus platform. The three of them retreated swiftly. In the end, the lightning in their hands surged and transformed into numerous bolts of lightning that covered the sky and instantly sealed off the lotus platform. Both sides were in a deadlock, and it was instead the azure-robed man who was ceaselessly blasted back. The Tao Reserve Lotus platform that he was so proud of had actually become extremely difficult to maintain at this moment, and it was even to the extent that a trace of a crack had appeared on it. No, this is impossible. This is the Tao Reserve Lotus platform that Bodhisattva gave me, and I absolutely can't allow it to be destroyed in your hands. The azure-robed young man shouted out furiously as he moved forward by himself, and he charged towards the location of the Tao Accumulation Lotus platform. He wanted to defend the Tao Accumulation Lotus platform with his own body, as it was bestowed by Bodhisattva, and it absolutely couldn't be destroyed. Since you don't know what's good for you, then die. Xueqi and the other two's mouths were almost exactly the same, and their gazes were exactly the same. Their killing intent was cold, and in the midst of thunder and lightning, they held the Mother of Lightning in their hands and swept away the army of 1,000. Be careful! Tyrant roared in anger. However, the lightning had already pierced through the void and was heading towards the green-robed man. It was a matter of life and death. Even an Emperor Realm expert wouldn't be able to avoid it. The terrifying lightning was like a long whip, splitting the heavens and the earth. I must protect Avalokitesvara's Tao Reserve Lotus platform. Even if I die, what's there to fear? The green-robed man said in a deep voice. His eyes were filled with determination and he was fearless. At this moment, he slowly closed his eyes because he knew that he was definitely going to die. I thought you were a smart person, but I didn't expect you to be so stupid. Compared to life, everything else is pale and powerless. An ice-cold voice rang out beside the green-robed man. The green-robed man's eyes lit up. It wasn't just him, even Tyrant's body trembled. This was because this voice was simply too familiar. Jiang Chen. It was Jiang Chen. He was here. As long as Jiang Chen was around, there would be hope. To Tyrant, Jiang Chen was his biggest lucky star and his biggest hope. It's you? The green-robed man looked at Jiang Chen in surprise, and a glimmer of hope reignited in his heart. It's been a long time, but you're still in such a sorry state. Jiang Chen calmly smiled. The green-robed man had a bitter expression on his face. This green-robed man was the person Jiang Chen had saved in the past, the Reverend Wood Spirit, Avalokitesvara's protector. I've embarrassed myself in front of you. Be careful. The Reverend Wood Spirit shouted in a deep voice. Jiang Chen suddenly turned around and struck out with his palm. The heavenly crushing seal was incomparably terrifying, and it directly shattered the 3 lightning chains, causing them to dissipate into nothingness. Little Chenzi, why are you always so late? Monk Tyrant joked. If I came early, would there still be room for you to display your strength? Ha! The two of them looked at each other and laughed, causing the Reverend Wood Spirit to be slightly startled. He didn't expect him to be such good brothers with Jiang Chen. It was truly unimaginable. When Tyrant saw Yen Chen Yu lying in the crystal coffin, he was a little disappointed. However, it seemed that Yen Chen Yu wasn't completely dead. Otherwise, Jiang Chen would have long been disheartened. Is little Yu all right? Tyrant knew that little Yu was Jiang Chen's everything. Jiang Chen's everything. If anything were to happen to little Yu, Jiang Chen would definitely go crazy, but he didn't act like that right now. As long as we can wake her up, nothing else will be a problem. Jiang Chen said confidently. He believed that such a day would come. Do your best. Tyrant smiled and nodded heavily. The encouragement from his brother also comforted Jiang Chen's heart. Jiang Chen's appearance instantly stabilized the situation, and with a single heavenly crushing seal, the 3 Emperor experts had no choice but to take it seriously. Jiang Chen, it's Jiang Chen's brother. He's here. Mo Yundi was incomparably excited. The entire Mo family was also quite shocked. After all, Jiang Chen's appearance was unparalleled, and he had directly forced 3 Emperor Realm experts back. Everyone was shocked and speechless. Wasn't this too terrifying? A half-step Emperor Realm expert struck out a seal, and it was actually on par with 3 Emperor Realm experts. The people of the 10 major families were also incomparably shocked. Originally, they already knew that Jiang Chen was valiant, but they didn't expect him to be so strong. Such abnormal strength was simply outrageous. A half-step Emperor Realm expert facing 3 Emperor Realm experts head-on, and his face didn't even blush, nor was he out of breath, and his expression didn't change. Who could compete with him? At this moment, the people of legalism felt like they had a new lease of life. If they had fought to the death with Jiang Chen, then they might have died without a burial place. Now that they knew that Jiang Chen was magnanimous and didn't care about them, Fang Yuan and the others couldn't help but feel a chill down their spine. Kong Zhongyun, Zhuang Qixing, and the others were very envious that Mo Yundi was able to become friends with a top expert like Jiang Chen. This time, if they could escape with their lives, all their hopes were gathered on Jiang Chen alone. Jiang Chen was like a giant that they couldn't resist. Their strength was obviously similar, but in the end, even 10 of them couldn't compare to one Jiang Chen. Tyrant was full of confidence in Jiang Chen. This guy seemed to be stronger than him, and he wondered if he would be left behind by Jiang Chen again. Although Tyrant was unwilling to admit defeat, there was nothing he could do about it. However, he was happy to see Jiang Chen's formidable strength. "Ha! You dare to be my enemy? It seems that you are really surprising. Little fellow, you've really piqued my curiosity," Kong Yun said as he looked at Jiang Chen with a smile. "It doesn't matter whether I'm curious or not. If you know what's good for you, then scram. If you don't, then I can only ask you to scram." Jiang Chen stood with his arms folded, his chest crossed, and his arrogance soared to the sky. "Ha ha ha, this is the first time I've met someone who dares to speak like you. Do you know who you're talking to? Didn't the God of Thunder tell you?" Kong Yun said with a cold and arrogant smile, as if he was mocking Jiang Chen. Chapter 3771. Who exactly are you? Jiang Chen asked in a low voice. "God of Thunder, I did not blame you for choosing to leave me, but if you still dare to challenge me now, don't blame me for not reminding you. In this world, there can only be one God, and only one ruler." Kong Yun stared fixedly at Jiang Chen. He knew very well that God of Thunder was hidden within Jiang Chen's body. They were born from the same root, and blood was thicker than water. Nothing could conceal the closeness between them. "Big brother, the sea of bitterness knows no bounds. Repent and you will be saved. You told me this many years ago. Have you forgotten?" The God of Thunder transformed into a youthful silhouette. He stared at Kong Yun with unwavering determination, staring into the eyes that looked exactly the same as Kong Yun. "The sea of bitterness knows no bounds. Repent and you will be saved? Humph humph, what a joke. Are you proud of the sacrifices you made for the Shengyuan? Where is the Shengyuan now? Didn't they turn to ash a long time ago? Who else is still alive in this world? Only those who truly follow the will of the heavens can live. Falling does not mean eternal life, but destruction. As the only God of Thunder in the Shengyuan, you still refuse to repent. Do you really want me to destroy you with my own hands? My little brother." Kong Yun glared at God of Thunder. The Kong Yun of today was no longer the genius of the Kong family, but the mastermind behind the scenes who controlled the souls of countless people. "Big brother, do you really want to continue with your mistakes?" God of Thunder asked sorrowfully. Not so long ago, it was his big brother who taught him to remember benevolence, kindness, virtue, patience, and kindness. But now, he had run in the opposite direction. "Don't forget who gave you the power of lightning in your hand," Kong Yun bellowed. "Big brother, repent and you will be saved." God of Thunder and Kong Yun stared at each other, their voices shaking the heavens. Both of them were surrounded by boundless lightning bolts, a terrifying sight to behold. Who is this mastermind behind the scenes? Even Jiang Chen did not know. Even the lightning in God of Thunder's hand was bestowed by him. This meant that this person must have an incomparably powerful background. God of Thunder's big brother must be as rare as phoenix feathers and Qilin horns. Who is he? Jiang Chen looked at Reverend Wood Spirit. The latter's face was extremely pale. He took a deep breath and said in a deep voice, "He was once the Buddha's strongest bodyguard, one of the Buddhist sect's 20 heavens. Even Bodhisattva can't do anything to him." Indra, Sakra. Venerable Wood Spirit's words made Jiang Chen frown. He didn't know the existence of Indra Sakra, but it didn't mean that others didn't know how terrifying he was. At least in the eyes of Venerable Wood Spirit, this guy was comparable to Bodhisattva, one of the most terrifying experts of the Buddhist sect. "How is it compared to the 8 divisional stupa?" Jiang Chen asked. "Some are better than others, but none are better than them," Venerable Wood Spirit said with difficulty. This incomparably powerful fellow was the truly troublesome existence. The current purple bamboo forest had basically fallen into enemy hands. If it wasn't for the support of Mahasvara Bodhisattva's Buddhist charm, it would have already been completely covered. Jiang Chen sucked in a breath of cold air. It was precisely because of this that he felt the situation was troublesome. Even the god of thunder, who was above the divine court realm, was restrained by him in such a manner. One could imagine how terrifying he was. Thunder God's big brother, the one who wields the thunder of the world, is actually Sakra. Jiang Chen couldn't help but have a higher understanding of this Di Shi Tian. This time, he didn't have any capital to fail. Di Shi Tian's terror is absolutely not something that you and I can imagine. Little Chenzi, you must not lower your guard. He has the absolute strength of Avalokitesvara. Fortunately, it's not his real body, it's only a remnant soul. Otherwise, even if we go all out, there's only death awaiting us. At his peak, Di Shi Tian has 50% of the power of a Buddha. He's a true heavenly king expert. We'd better be careful. A starving camel is still bigger than a horse. Tyrant looked at Jiang Chen and said in a deep voice. They already had no other choice. They could only advance step by step, not daring to be the slightest bit negligent or hesitant. Big brother. The sea of bitterness knows no bounds. Repent and be saved. Thunder God was still bitterly begging, but at that moment, Kong Yun had clearly lost his patience. Bolts of heavenly lightning surged in the sky, turning into long lightning whips. They rained down, cutting through all obstacles, unstoppable. Today, I'll take back your heavenly lightning. Let's see if you still have the capital to compete with me. Kong Yun roared angrily. With a wave of his palm, bolts of heavenly lightning struck his body. Thunder God was in incomparable pain and difficulty. At that moment, Jiang Chen also frowned. His eyes were like torches. He had to act now. Don't come over. Thunder God looked at Jiang Chen, his eyes filled with determination as he transmitted his voice. My life was given to me by my big brother. If he wants it, he can take it. If even I can't awaken my big brother, then kill him for me. Because this is what he told me. The sea of bitterness knows no bounds. Repent and be saved. Thunder God smiled slightly. When he looked at Jiang Chen, his eyes were filled with gratification. However, just as Jiang Chen had expected, Kong Yun did not stop his palm. Instead, he attacked with all his might, aiming for Thunder God. The origin energy in Thunder God's body was instantly sucked dry. Thunder God's soul was extinguished and dissipated from the world. Rumble, after a loud explosion, it was as if the world was about to explode. Jiang Chen stared blankly at the scene. Perhaps this was the fate that Thunder God had chosen. He insisted on using himself to influence his big brother, but in the end, he still could not awaken Di Shi Tian's remnant soul. Instead, he continued to slaughter his way forward, charging towards Jiang Chen and the others, killing without mercy. Damned bastard, let's see how capable you are. So what if you have the heavenly lightning in your palm? I'll show you my heavenly lightning. Jiang Chen clenched his fists tightly. Thunder God's death had moved him. Di Shi Tian was already a heinous devil. It was impossible to reawaken his benevolence. He was determined to survive. His obsession had seeped into his soul. No one could change his every move. Jiang Chen controlled 5 bolts of heavenly lightning. Thunder God's death filled his heart with righteous indignation. But since Thunder God was not afraid of death, what was there for him to be afraid of? Thunder God only returned everything he had to Di Shi Tian. Since everything was bestowed by Di Shi Tian, he came in a hurry and left in a hurry. What harm was there in not taking a cloud with him? You even killed your own younger brother. Di Shi Tian, you're really an unpardonable devil. Chapter 3772. Reckless fools, what's there to regret about dying? You guys are the same. How dare you stand in front of me, Sakura? You will die a horrible death. Kong Yun laughed heartily. They had long since become puppets, and under his absolute control, Sakura guided everyone's soul. Everyone had nowhere to hide, and their minds were all devoured by him. Brother Jiang Chen, you must do your best. Mo Yundi said faintly. The corner of his mouth twitched slightly. At this moment, it was a matter of life and death. None of them could stay out of it. They were facing those half-step Emperor Realm puppets. After all, Di Shirtian was too strong. His soul avatars were spread all over everyone's body. All of them were under his command. With a single thought, all of them would die for him. Mo Yundi, Kong Zhongyun and the others did not dare to slack off. Once their line of defense collapsed, it would affect Jiang Chen and the others. Firmly guarding the last line of defense was their only hope. Brother Jiang Chen, make your move. These guys have their minds devoured. There's no need to be lenient. As long as we kill them all, Sakura will have nowhere to hide. Reverend Mu Ling also made up his mind. Little Chenzi, it's up to you now. Tyrant laughed heartily. Both of them were quite excited. They could fight side by side again. Killing has always been an exciting thing. Jiang Chen stood up with his sword and faced the three Emperor Realm experts alone. Kong Yun, Zhuang Su and He Qi. Under Sakura Tian's control, the strength of these three powerful Emperor Realm experts was extremely terrifying. On the other hand, Tyrant and Reverend Wood Spirit were fighting an Emperor Realm expert each. It was easy to imagine that they were in a relatively easy situation. Zhuge Jin and Mo Yunqi, who were fighting Emperor Realm experts alone, were unable to do anything to Tyrant and Reverend Wood Spirit with their strength. Instead, they were forced to retreat by their Yasuo space. In the blink of an eye, Jiang Chen wielded his sword like a gust of wind, unstoppable. The morale of the 10 families was greatly boosted as they began their counterattack. Mo Yundi led the others to launch a counterattack, because each of them understood that once Jiang Chen and the others were defeated, they would certainly be in a perilous situation. Therefore, what they could do now was to ensure that Jiang Chen, Tyrant and Reverend Mu Ling could fight without any worries. Only by doing so could they have the last laugh. Jiang Chen's divine sword was as swift as the wind. He had already fully comprehended the 23rd sword and was able to wield it with ease. Even though he was fighting 3 emperors at the same time, they still couldn't suppress him. At this moment, when Jiang Chen touched the threshold of the Emperor Realm, his potential and strength were finally unleashed. The dreadfulness of the limitless sword made the emperors tremble. That was not all. Once Jiang Chen's strength completely broke through the Emperor Realm, he would be like a carp leaping through the Dragon's Gate. At that time, he would be able to control the myriad Qi cauldron to refine and repair the ancient divine weapons and treasures. That would be the most terrifying thing. Now, with the help of the 23 swords, Kong Yun, Zhuang Su, and He Qi were completely powerless against Jiang Chen. In their opinion, that kind of invincible attack was not something that a half-step emperor expert could display. Brush strokes 10 million li. Brush and ink transforms into sword Qi. Kong Yun held the autumn hairbrush in his hand and waved it continuously, as if he was pointing out the mountains and rivers. The Kong clan's strongest secret art was the sword Qi of calligraphy. In the blink of an eye, the brush and ink would turn into thousands of swords, unstoppable and sharp. Heaven's opening Tao. Boundless Taiji. Zhuang Su held the universe in his palm, forming hand seals. His aura was incomparably majestic, not inferior to Kong Yun at all. Heavenly halberd. Only I am supreme. He Qi held a divine weapon in his hand. A divine weapon descended from the heavens, splitting the universe. The 3 emperor experts unleashed all of their techniques. Even Tyrant and Reverend Wood Spirit were worried for Jiang Chen. These guys were not easy to deal with. If Jiang Chen wanted to kill them, he would not be able to do so in a short period of time. Facing the rays of light, Jiang Chen did not have any distractions. With the limitless sword in his hand, the limitless sword swept across the 8 directions. The 23 swords was invincible under the heavens. No one could stop it. 23 swords, 10,000 souls extinction shadow. Jiang Chen's morale was like a rainbow. He was only a half-step emperor, yet he was able to force the 3 emperors back. This scene made Mo Yundi and the others realize how terrifying Jiang Chen was. There was only one such person in the world. If a second one appeared, the world would definitely be in chaos. The limitless sword, 10,000 souls extinction shadow, and Kong Yun were sent flying. They were suppressed by Jiang Chen and fled in panic. The situation was extremely tense, so much so that it was suffocating. Di Shirtian, is this all you've got? It seems like you're only a... Compared to Avalokitesvara, you're simply too lacking, ha ha ha. Tyrant sneered and ridiculed. Mo Yunqi was defeated by him with each of his moves. He couldn't even fight back. He was happy to be at ease. Jiang Chen didn't need his help at all. This so-called Sakra who could fight against Bodhisattva was just a... The elder brother of the Thunder God was actually this weak. Obviously, Tyrant had underestimated Di Shirtian. Even Jiang Chen did not expect how strong Di Shirtian was. Did this guy really only have this much ability? Jiang Chen swept across the universe, his domineering aura leaking out as he stood proudly in the sky. On the top of the purple bamboo, countless people in the surroundings could not help but have the urge to prostrate themselves in worship. This guy was really too strong. A bunch of people who don't know the immensity of the heavens and the immensity of the earth. The night of the full moon will be the time of your death. Kong Yun looked up. The moonlight was high in the sky, and the night had arrived. Thunder rumbled and lightning flashed, making the scene even more terrifying. At this moment, their strength had all received a huge boost. Using the opportunity of the night, Di Shirtian once again increased the strength of Kong Yun and the others. Di Shirtian was helpless against the Buddhist charm during the day, but once he entered the night, he would be at his strongest. All of you, go to hell, you bunch of people who don't know what's good for them. Kong Yun shouted coldly. With a wave of his palm, the autumn hairbrush once again rushed forward. Jiang Chen narrowed his eyes and his pupils constricted. How can a loser call himself brave? No matter how strong he is still only a puppet. Chapter 3773. Jiang Chen was like the wind, his speed astonishing. Even though Kong Yun and the other two were strengthened, they were still constantly suppressed by Jiang Chen. However, at this time, Jiang Chen discovered that he simply couldn't escape from the problem. These people's souls had been completely devoured and occupied. It seemed impossible for him to save Zhuang Su. At present, there was only one way, and that was to remove Di Shirtian's divine sense from their souls. Only then could they recover. Once they lost Di Shirtian's divine sense, perhaps they would recover. This was the only way. However, to remove Di Shirtian's divine sense, Jiang Chen only had one method. A method he wasn't sure if it would work. That was to use soul force and attack instead of defense. However, although he had the soul of a heavenly king, Di Shirtian was the same. This put Jiang Chen in a difficult position. If he failed, it was very likely that these people would all be completely obliterated. Their souls would be extinguished, and they would become corpses. However, Jiang Chen had no other way. Since there was a chance to save Zhuang Su and everyone else, Jiang Chen could only do his best. Soul destruction and soul snatching. Jiang Chen's eyes turned cold, and his soul throbbed. At this moment, a soul storm was set off in the entire purple bamboo forest. Overwhelming soul force came crashing down, causing Tyrant and Reverend Mu Ling's faces to turn ashen as if they were facing a great enemy. This move was too overbearing. If it failed, it would kill everyone with a single thought. However, if it succeeded, it could remove Di Shirtian's divine sense from their bodies. The soul storm continued to sweep past. Zhuang Su and Kong Yun's faces were deathly pale, their eyes lifeless, and they clutched their heads in pain. You lunatic, you're digging your own grave. It's impossible for your soul force to contend against me. Kong Yun, Zhuang Su, He Qi, all of them roared as they stared fixedly at Jiang Chen, as if waiting for his death. But what Di Shirtian didn't expect was that Jiang Chen also possessed the soul force of a heavenly king. At that moment, almost all of his divine sense was expelled by Jiang Chen, completely expelled from the bodies of Kong Yun and the others. Di Shirtian had been defeated. Although his divine sense was extremely powerful, he was only at the heavenly king realm. Furthermore, he was heavily injured. Now, Jiang Chen's spiritual force had given him a heavy injury. The entire violet bamboo forest had quietened down. The sound of thunder and wind had died down. The curtain of rain had stopped, and the dripping water had become a prophecy. No, impossible! Sakra roared angrily. In the end, hundreds of divine wills converged to form an incomparably huge figure. It was bare-chested and was hundreds of feet tall. It staggered and retreated, its eyes filled with fear and shock. A puny human wants to compete with me? Wishful thinking. Although Di Shirtian's divine sense had been completely eliminated, Kong Yun, Zhuang Su, Mo Yunqi, and the others' bodies were extremely weak. It was as if 80 to 90% of their divine origin qi had been sucked out. They were as weak as women who had just suffered a serious illness. How could this be? What's wrong with me? Zhuang Su rubbed his head. His face was pale and his hands were trembling. It was as if his spirit had been taken away. He looked extremely sick. Kong Yun, Mo Yunqi, He Qi, and the others were all in the same state. They were in such a sorry state that it made one's heart ache. As the top experts of the 10 great clans and the Nantung divine continent, they were like beggars at this moment. Their strength was low and powerless. However, the fortunate thing was that all of them had recovered their divine sense. Their souls had returned to their masters. It was already an extremely good ending that their souls hadn't been completely devoured by Di Shirtian. At least they were still alive. Jiang Chen stood proudly and pointed his sword at Di Shirtian without the slightest fear. As an almighty expert of the Buddhist sect, you have no sense of shame. You killed the innocent and didn't even let go of Avalokitesvara's place. Today, I must kill you to clear the name of the world. Ridiculous, really ridiculous. Do you really think you can kill me? Do you know why I came to the purple bamboo forest? Since I found it, I might as well let you see what a true expert is. I, Di Shirtian, am the supreme expert of the Buddhist sect. Di Shirtian stepped into the air and stood in the sky. His palm was the universe, and his power shook the heavens. All of you accept your death, Di Shirtian said in an incomparably domineering manner. In this world, there weren't many people who could surpass him. Moreover, this time, he had found what he wanted. This time, he would become the true supreme expert of the Buddhist sect, the true ancestor of all Buddhas. Venerable Wood Spirit's heart also thumped. He seemed to have sensed something. Did this Di Shirtian really find what he wanted? My purple bamboo forest, what is there that you want? Venerable Wood Spirit clenched his teeth and said, what I want to find is naturally the relic of that old thing after he passed away. The real Avalokitesvara is in your purple bamboo forest. Avalokitesvara is no longer here. Who can be me? After that old thing passed away, he left behind the incomparably powerful Avalokitesvara. That is something that can truly change the fate of the Buddhist realm. Whoever has the Avalokitesvara will be the true ancestor of all Buddhas. Today, I have already found the location of the Avalokitesvara. I want to see who can be me. Ha ha ha. Di Shirtian's arrogance and overbearingness made Venerable Wood Spirit tremble. The Avalokitesvara was indeed a relic. It was something that was left behind after the Buddha passed away. However, Venerable Wood Spirit didn't expect that the Avalokitesvara was actually in the purple bamboo forest at the peak of the South Sea. This also revealed the reason why this guy wanted to come to the purple bamboo forest. So for so many years, Di Shirtian devoured the entire purple bamboo forest step by step in order to find the Avalokitesvara. It's too late to know now. I originally thought that I could easily kill all of you before coming to a conclusion. However, I didn't expect that all of you would disappoint me so much. You even want to escape from my palm. You bunch of idiots are not worthy at all. You don't even have the qualifications to be my puppets. Di Shirtian said indifferently. He held the sun and moon in his hand and stood in the sky. His aura was unstoppable. Even if it was just a divine sense, his combat strength when he was alive was shocking. Even Jiang Chen didn't dare to be negligent. Your idea is not bad. However, you will not succeed. Those who do evil will only bring about their own destruction. The people of the Buddhist sect will not allow an existence like you to exist. Scum of the Buddhist sect, you deserve to be hacked into pieces. Chapter 3774. A little monk who doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth wants to go against me? Hee hee, you really think too highly of yourself. If I want to kill you, it's as easy as taking something out of my pocket. Since you guys insist on seeking death, then I can only let you see who is the real almighty of the Buddha world. Sakra said in an incomparably tyrannical manner. With a clench of his fist, wind and thunder rose. The surrounding air seemed to be on the verge of collapsing. Such might had already made Mo Yundi and the others turn ashen as they retreated with explosive speed. In front of Sakura, half-step immortal emperors didn't even have the strength to retaliate. After so many years, have our souls been controlled by this Sakura? What have we done? Why is it like this? My body is too weak. It's like I've been sucked dry. Xueqi is one of the most powerful experts in the Buddhist sect. How can we possibly win against him? Then we can't just sit here and wait for death, right? After so many years, we've been completely bewitched by him. It's already a great fortune that we didn't die here. Sakura, what is he looking for? He said that he has found it. Are we really going to be trapped here by him? Kong Yun, Mo Yunchi and the others had a solemn expression. They didn't dare to be negligent. After all these years, they had already forgotten what they had done and what they had done for Sakura. 10,000 Buddha Saraira. Did you really find the 10,000 Buddha Saraira? Reverend Mu Ling said in shock. The 10,000 Buddha Saraira was a true treasure, something left behind by the Buddha after he passed away. In the end, it was obtained by Avalokitesvara. However, no one had expected that Reverend Mu Ling would want to obtain the 10,000 Buddha Saraira. For everyone, this was a thorny problem. If he really obtained the 10,000 Buddha Saraira, would he attack everyone after his strength increased greatly? Before Reverend Mu Ling could react, he knew that the thing that he was most worried about had happened. Originally, I planned to leave after finding the Saraira of Avalokitesvara, but I didn't expect that you bunch of bastards would interfere. Now, it seems like it's not too late to kill you guys first and continue searching for the Saraira of Avalokitesvara, Sakura said with a maniacal laugh. The feminine smile on his face became more and more thought-provoking. Jiang Chen's expression was cold and arrogant as he pointed at Xueqi. Since that's the case, let the storm come even fiercer. Let's see how long you can be so arrogant. Jiang Chen was bold because of his skills. Everyone kept quiet out of fear in front of Xueqi. Only Jiang Chen was fearless. Jiang Chen, don't underestimate him. Revered Buddha's 10,000 Buddha relic is the source of revered Buddha's life essence. Once it's devoured by Sakura, we might very well be killed here. Reverend Wood Spirit said worriedly. Counter soldiers with arms, water with an earthware. I don't believe that this guy can cover the sky with one hand. Shizun's 10,000 Buddha relic might not be able to allow him to reach the dome. However, Jiang Chen did not believe in this. He lifted his sword and once again displayed the sword 23. Myriad souls vanishing shadows and myriad swords returning to origin, with a supreme sword power, pressed down on the void. You don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Then, let me show you the power of the 10,000 Buddha relic. Xueqi clenched his fist and directly swallowed the 10,000 Buddha relic. At that moment, the entire sky was filled with 5-colored radiance. The radiance of the 10,000 Buddha relic illuminated the world. Xueqi directly swallowed the 10,000 Buddha relic. At that moment, Jiang Chen's eyes were tightly shut. That dazzling radiance almost pierced through his body. When the radiance dispersed, the heavens and earth changed and the 5 elements reversed. Within Xueqi's body, in his mind, there was an incomparably dazzling swastika symbol. A terrifying Buddhist aura permeated the peak of the dome of heaven. Xueqi's body was also constantly changing colors, golden and dazzling. The 10,000 Buddha relic is mine. Ha 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 ha, from today onwards, I am the true Buddha. No one can be my enemy. All of you must die. Xueqi's roar was deafening. Facing Jiang Chen's sudden sword 23, Xueqi's palm moved. Buddhist light gushed out like a monstrous tsunami, unstoppable. In an instant, it destroyed the endless shadows of the sword 23. Jiang Chen was forced to retreat, looking extremely miserable. A stone stirred up 1,000 ripples. In an instant, the entire purple bamboo forest became incomparably austere. Jiang Chen's aura continued to skyrocket. Using the ancient soaring dragon technique, his strength at this moment was infinitely close to the Emperor realm. On the other side, Reverend Mu Ling and Tyrant were also ready to make a move. The 3 of them looked at each other. They already had no choice. The current Xueqi was incomparably powerful. He was like an eagle in the sky, looking down on the heroes, unparalleled. Defeating the enemy in one move. Although Jiang Chen was unwilling, he had to admit that after Xueqi devoured the 10,000 Buddha relic, he was like a giant, making it difficult for others to be his enemies. Now, we can only join hands and attack. We must not let him completely absorb the 10,000 Buddha relic. Otherwise, we will die without a burial place. Not only us, but the entire divine world will fall into his tyranny. Di Shirtian is already incomparably powerful. With the addition of the 10,000 Buddha relic, he could really replace the position of Buddha and become the most dazzling existence in the entire Buddhist sect. Even the 8 sects stupa, the 500 arhats, Avalokitesvara, and the 9 lives Bodhi would not be his opponent. Reverend Wood's spirit was extremely solemn. Now that Avalokitesvara was no longer here, in order to protect this last piece of land, in order to prevent the divine world from falling into a calamity, Reverend Wood's spirit had to suppress Di Shirtian here. Jiang Chen wielded his sword and rose up. Under the dragon transformation, his strength broke through. His 100-feet-tall figure stood proudly, no different from Di Shirtian. Under the confrontation, Jiang Chen's might was like a rainbow, without the slightest trace of fear. You will regret your actions today for the rest of your life. Before Di Shirtian's voice faded, Jiang Chen had already made his move. His 100-feet-tall figure struck out like lightning, causing the wind to howl and the crane to tremble. The two incomparably gigantic fists collided repeatedly, causing the sky to spin and the earth to spin. Mountains and rocks were reduced to dust. The emerald-green bamboos were destroyed for 3,000 miles. Between the palms, the strength of 9 dragons and 10 elephants could devour the heavens and earth. Even though Jiang Chen had yet to reach the Emperor Realm, his strength was already comparable to a mid-stage Emperor Realm expert. After all, even Kong Yun and the other two couldn't resist Jiang Chen's attacks. Chapter 3775. The Buddhist light of the swastika was released. Jiang Chen immediately raised his blade and struck out the Tao accumulation seal. This was his only chance. Heavenly seal. The terrifying power of the Yen Tian seal and the impact of the Tao accumulation seal made Sakura slightly stunned. He did not expect Jiang Chen to be able to display the power of the Tao accumulation. This was truly shocking. You're not even an emperor yet, and you're already able to display the power of the Tao accumulation. Looks like I've underestimated you. But even so, it's still not enough to save yourself. Sakura was as cold as ice. He raised his hand and struck out another palm strike. The rhythm of the Buddha was melodious and it was like a tiger galloping for thousands of miles. Golden light shone everywhere and the sound of wind was like arrows. Countless purple bamboos were shattered into pieces. 1,000 Buddha greeting. Tyrant also struck out his hand seals. The power of the Buddha greeting was so strong that it could cut through the sky. Under the cooperation of Jiang Chen, Sakura was pushed back. The power of the 1,000 Buddha greeting was nothing compared to Sakura's palm strike. Because at this moment, Sakura was simply too terrifying after devouring the 1,000 Buddha Saraira. No one could compete with him. 9 revolutions Sanskrit chant. Reverend Mu Ling did not want to be outdone as well. He rushed forward together with Tyrant. However, the two of them were pushed back by Jiang Chen. Facing Jiang Chen's second seal of Tao accumulation, Di Shirtian harumphed coldly and felt extremely irritated. Heavenly seal. You're just a mantis trying to stop a chariot. Sakura slashed down again. Under the light of the Buddha, the night turned into day. Admiring Heaven's seal. Jiang Chen unleashed all of his techniques and struck out 3 hand seals. Finally, he managed to push Di Shirtian back. However, at that moment, Jiang Chen's Tao essence had been consumed quite a bit. Unfortunately, even though the seal managed to push Di Shirtian back, it was still impossible for him to severely injure him with his current strength. Early Emperor Realm, Mid-Emperor Realm, Late Emperor Realm, Half-Step Emperor Realm, Emperor Realm, Venerable Mu Ling murmured. He looked at Di Shirtian and was completely dumbfounded. He didn't expect that the other party's strength had actually reached the Emperor Realm. This was simply unbelievable. Although it was just a phantom, this Emperor Realm phantom had left them with no way out. This was a dead end. You guys go first, I'll hold him back. Jiang Chen said solemnly. He struck out with his palm and supported the crystal coffin with his shoulder. At that moment, Jiang Chen felt that Jiang Chen's strength was rising continuously. He couldn't hold on any longer. With a palm strike, Jiang Chen's palm cracked open and blood splattered everywhere. No, you can't stop him. Reverend Mu Ling's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. Jiang Chen was continuously retreating in defeat. He kept throwing out palm seals, but to Di Shirtion, it was like pouring a cup of water into a burning cart of firewood. Emperor Realm. After finally swallowing the 1,000 Buddha relic, the strength of the phantom directly reached the Emperor Realm. Jiang Chen and the others felt numb on their scalps. Mo Yundi and the others were completely dumbfounded. They didn't expect Sakura to be so terrifying. The Emperor Realm was a realm that they couldn't reach in their lifetime. Even their old ancestors might not have such strength, right? Sakura was one of the 20 heavens in charge of the power of thunder and lightning in Buddhism sect. He was the most powerful guardian of revered Buddha, an existence comparable to Avalokitesvara. Now that he had devoured the 10,000 Buddha relic, one could imagine what kind of shocking realm this guy had reached. Are we all going to die here? That's right. Will we be able to survive? If we're going to die, we'll die together. None of us can escape. But I don't want to die here. I don't want to die here. I haven't married yet. Everyone was in incomparable pain and heartache. There were even some experts who had just escaped from the sea of bitterness and escaped from Sakura's evil clutches. If they were killed by Sakura again at this time, it would be no different from being struck by lightning from a clear sky. They might as well have died at that time. Now that they were given hope, they were once again exterminated. This kind of despair and agony was completely different from ordinary people. This time, it's my turn. Tyrant smiled and looked at Jiang Chen. In the past, you've always been the one to turn the tide and steal all the limelight. This time let me do it. Tyrant's determination was something that Jiang Chen had never seen before. Little Chenzi, don't disappoint little you. Don't disappoint me. Tyrant's palm moved towards the sky. Facing Sakura, he didn't care about anything else. He knew that he wasn't Sakura's opponent, but he wanted to buy time for Jiang Chen and the rest. With Sakura's current strength, no one was his opponent. At this time, if they continued to be stubborn, they might be annihilated. Tyrant! Jiang Chen's eyes almost popped out of their sockets as he furiously roared. However, it was already too late for him to save Di Shirtion. Right now, Tyrant was going to use his own body to block Di Shirtion. This was their only chance. You fool! Jiang Chen roared like thunder. However, at this moment, he would never give up on his brothers and escape alone. At this moment, Mo Yundi, Kong Chongyun and the others had already begun to lead the crowd away. The crowd was surging, and the building was now empty. On Sakura's body, golden light shone resplendently like the sun. It was so dazzling that no one could look at it directly. At this moment, Tyrant rushed up to stop Sakura without a care in the world. He was definitely going to die. If I don't enter hell, who will? Tyrant smiled faintly and remained calm. Even though he knew that there was no way out, he was still resolute and did not hesitate in the slightest. He didn't want to be a hero, he just wanted to save more people. Jiang Chen had found Yan Chenyu, and if he were to die like this, he would regret it for the rest of his life. Therefore, Tyrant decided to let himself bear all the responsibility. Since he could save more people, why not? Courting death! Sakura roared. Rays of light pierced through Tyrant's body. At this moment, Jiang Chen was in a daze. Tyrant, Tyrant, you lunatic. Can you hear me? Jiang Chen roared hysterically. Mo Yundi and the rest had already retreated and escaped from the purple bamboo forest. However, Jiang Chen didn't move an inch. Standing beside him was Reverend Wood Spirit. Because this was his home, Avalokitesvara's place. It was also the only place where he could feel his existence. If he left this place, where could he go? Despair, pain, and loss filled Jiang Chen's heart. Reverend Wood Spirit was the same. Because at this moment, Tyrant's body was completely pierced through by the rays of light. He turned into nothingness. His flesh was badly mangled and there wasn't even a corpse left. You dare to fight with me? You guys are too inexperienced. Ha ha. Chapter 3776. Monk, I'm sorry. Jiang Chen's heart felt like it was being cut by a knife. That was his closest brother, but now he was killed by Sakura Tian. One could imagine Jiang Chen's pain. All of you go to hell too, Sakura Tian said faintly. However, at this moment, the blood in Jiang Chen's body was boiling. His anger surged and rushed to the sky. I will make you pay with your blood. Jiang Chen's roar echoed for thousands of miles. Mo Yundi and the others who had escaped far away felt their hearts palpitate. Jiang Chen's roar was terrifying and full of murderous intent. At this moment, Jiang Chen was completely enraged. The death of Tyrant completely ignited the anger in his heart. He was determined to kill Socrateon in the cycle of reincarnation. You don't know what's good for you. Go to hell. Socrateon's expression was as usual. He shot out a palm that even an Emperor Realm expert couldn't resist. That kind of earth-shattering Buddhist charm shook the heavens. Jiang Chen was fearless. The power of Tao accumulation filled his body. The terrifying aura and the will to conquer the heavens were invincible. What a terrifying power of Tao accumulation! Socrateon frowned. Jiang Chen's power of Tao accumulation continued to rise and condense. His palm's Buddhist charm actually couldn't kill Jiang Chen in one blow. Let's see how long you can resist. Socrateon turned his palm again. Thunder shook the heavens and the earth. A terrifying palm print spread out, destroying the purple bamboo forest. The mountain rocks fell and the earth shook. However, Jiang Chen still rushed to Socrateon like a raging fire. Give me your life. Jiang Chen was fearless. His will to conquer the heavens was irreversible. In his world of Tao accumulation, he was the most powerful existence. Above the heavens were no exception. With a thought, Jiang Chen soared up 90,000 miles into the sky. Relying on the undying soaring heaven-fighting intent, his Tao accumulation was unparalleled. The 4 layers of Tao accumulation were unleashed with full force, causing the heavens and earth to tremble. Black Heaven's Seal. The 4th seal of the sky-expanding seal, the mysterious heavenly seal, was already quite terrifying for Jiang Chen. Moreover, Jiang Chen had already broken through the peak of the 3rd level of Tao connotation. The power of the 4th level of Tao connotation gathered by the mysterious heavenly seal almost made Sakra Heaven, who was at the Emperor Realm, pale. Heaven expanding seal. It's the heaven expanding seal again. A centipede dies but doesn't fall down. I am the true Supreme Buddha. No one can defeat me. How dare you? Vairocana seal. Sakra Heaven condensed the power of the heavens and launched a blow, colliding with Jiang Chen's mysterious heavenly seal. At that moment, Jiang Chen was completely defeated and flew backward. His face was extremely solemn, but his palm was still tightly holding the crystal coffin on his shoulder. In this battle, Jiang Chen had tried his best. Sakra Heaven retreated 10 steps and his divine soul phantom became a lot dimmer. Obviously, he was seriously injured. However, the 4th seal of Jiang Chen had also exhausted all of his Tao accumulation. Even with the 4th level of Tao accumulation, he couldn't bear it. After all, Jiang Chen's cultivation was still too weak. Using the 4th level of Tao accumulation and the mysterious heavenly seal was a great burden for Jiang Chen, which directly made him run out of oil. To be able to block this blow of mine, you can be considered to have died a worthy death. You are indeed very strong, but unfortunately, you are still too weak. The power of Tao accumulation can't be used perfectly in your hands. You can only use 40 to 50% of its power. When you reach the Emperor Realm, perhaps this blow will be able to make me face it seriously. Sakra Heaven said very coldly. In his opinion, the serious injury he suffered was still nothing. However, the problem was that Jiang Chen had run out of oil and he no longer had any opponent. Amitba, if I don't go to hell, who will go to hell? A chant that sounded like the Sanskrit of the heavens and earth returned to the ground. In the purple bamboo forest, rays of brilliance gathered. That voice was extremely familiar to Jiang Chen, but it was even more solemn and overbearing. The unquestionable supreme Sanskrit made Di Shirtion's body tremble. Buddha, Buddha. Sakra Heaven's voice had a trace of trembling and his eyes were incomparably complicated. Impossible. This is impossible. Sakra Heaven directly denied his own words. However, at that moment, Reverend Wood Spirit had already knelt down. Above the sky, an illusory figure gradually converged and started to reconstruct his golden body with the help of the Buddha's light. That figure, if it wasn't Tyrant, who else could it be? Buddha, Tyrant, it was actually Buddha. Jiang Chen was also filled with shock and disbelief. He originally thought that Tyrant was already dead, but he didn't expect that he would actually start to reconstruct his golden body and his strength would also increase by leaps and bounds. At this moment, within the golden light, Tyrant had already gradually gathered all the Buddha's light. Amitba. The sea of bitterness is boundless. Repent and you will be saved. Indra, this is the karma of your life. Stop it. Buddha is merciful. Lay down the butcher's knife and become a Buddha immediately. The current tyrant was 60 to 70% similar to the previous tyrant. However, there was a supreme majesty and Buddha's light that lingered around his body. However, Jiang Chen was sure that this person was definitely tyrant. His gaze was definitely not wrong. Tyrant was reborn. How is this possible? Tyrant is actually Buddha Tathagata? At this moment, Reverend Wood Spirit put his palms together and silently stared at Tyrant with a pious expression on his face. Starlight overflowed in all directions and overflowed with colors. The golden light shone on Tyrant's body, causing his body to become incomparably holy, incomparably auspicious, and incomparably majestic. One didn't know the true face of Mount Lu, only because they were inside this mountain. At this moment, Reverend Wood Spirit would never have dreamed that the real Buddha was right beside him. Not only him, even Indra and Sakra didn't expect that the Buddha was right in front of them. Tyrant's rebirth was formed by the convergence of Buddha's aura. At this moment, it was like a dream. Jiang Chen shook his head and smiled bitterly. It seemed that all of this wasn't the end. Good brother. Jiang Chen murmured. He didn't expect that his good brother would actually be the controller of the Buddha world, the ancestor of all Buddhas. Even Jiang Chen was filled with shock. It seemed that the reincarnation of Buddha wasn't a baseless rumor. At this moment, Tyrant also completely fused with the heart of Buddha. Because he had reconstructed his golden body, he was no longer the tyrant of the past, but the real Buddha. The memories of his previous life returned to his mind. Tyrant gazed at the world of mortals with his palms together. His heart was clear and pure, without any impurities. All evils are born from the heart. The Buddhist sect is in chaos, and this humble monk cannot absolve himself from the blame. I have sinned. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.